21-17, 143 to Berwick 20 goals, 12, 132. With me up here on broadcast today is John Wright. And John, what did you think about that reserves game?
Well, Bruce, we had plenty of chance to win it. We were 3 goals in front at three-quarter time, but it's a big ground and there's plenty of grass on it, and it certainly takes the more or less the strength out of the players' legs. They need to be really fit to run out the last quarter in this game, and obviously the Berwick reserves ran out of legs in that last quarter, and Waverley were able to take over and win quite comfortably in the end.
Yeah, thanks, John. That's right. When I arrived, the Berwick reserve side were in front, and three-quarter time they were about 3 goals in front. The ground is long. It probably could have done with a cut if you were going to be critical about anything. I suppose the grass is long. I just see the umpires coming round, John, round the boundary line there. Our umpires today are Messrs Steer and Black, and the boundary umpires are Fulton and Greene, and the goal umpires are Douglas and Robinson. In a short while the players will be out on the ground, but we'll have a few more comments to make about the Berwick team. There's been some changes, and the Waverley team is as listed. Out on the ground come the Berwick side. Berwick side today have had a few changes. The Matt Johnson decided that after last week's game his knee wasn't good enough to stand up to another full game, and maybe out for perhaps 2 or 3 weeks. And into the side came John McGreal, and Robbie Trigg was picked on the bench and will be in the lineup. You'll see Neville Powels play in Matt Johnson's position at centre half back, and I think Robert Trigg will probably line up at centre half forward. We'll check that just a little bit later on. John, any comments from you on the Berwick side today? You saw them last week. I was away, so perhaps I could have a few comments from you on this side.
Yes, Bruce, the changes were necessary. Tivendale was out, of course, suspended at the tribunal for 2 weeks, and Matt Johnson, unfortunately, with his injury. John McGreal is coming onto the bench. He played a tremendous game in the seconds last week, Bruce. He must have had about 40 or 50 kicks. He just got every second one nearly, and deserved his placement onto the bench for the seniors. Robbie Trigg's got into the team, and as you say, I think he's going to line up at centre half forward. The other change is onto the half-back flank has come Jim McAllister, who also played a great game last week in the reserves. So it'll be interesting just to see how they do line up. I believe Mark Breen had an injury during the week, but he's out there with the boys, so we hope he's fit and well. And also Gary Scott had a slight injury at training on Friday night, so we're hoping that he can see the game out, Bruce.
Thanks, John. Just while the players are running around on the ground, I'd just like to make mention through this video that today both the reserve side and the senior side are wearing black armbands in respect, showing their respect to the sad loss of life of Frank Elliott, a great supporter, a past player and committeeman. Just an absolute tireless worker for the Berwick Football Club, and in Frank's retirement he's been publicity officer, a great worker, and Frank unfortunately passed away on Saturday morning after a short illness. And from the Berwick Football Club we send our sincere sympathy to Frank's family, and that is the reason for the armbands that the boys are wearing today. And we hope that they can go on, beat Waverley, and let the Elliott family know that we're thinking of them today. They all look to be fairly fit, those fellas out there, John. To me, the Berwick side, the Waverley side, we're just waiting for them to come out on the ground. You have some information about one of the Waverley players today, John.
Yes, Bruce. One of the Waverley players, number 5, Barry Williams, is playing his 100th game, and the Waverley fellas say that he's one of their best players and one of the best clubmen they've had around for a while. So we certainly wish him a good game, and it looks like they're putting up a banner here in front for him to wish him all the best for his 100th. Last week we saw John Callery run out for his 200th, Bruce, which was a tremendous thrill, and the club was very proud. So I guess it's a similar situation here for the Waverley crowd.
Yes, Cal was deserved of that gold watch. I believe the club presented John Cowrie with a gold watch, and he's very, very pleased with that. That's something that he'll have for the rest of his days. That gold watch and 200 games with any clubs is a milestone. And Barry Williams for the Waverley Club, we congratulate him on 100 games and hope he has a very successful day as far as his game is concerned today. It's Barry Williams of Waverley. In just a few moments, the Waverley side should be out on the ground. This is a magnificent place to watch football. It's a fantastic surface and ground. The amenities here are very, very good, and we're probably in for a fairly exciting sort of a day.
A couple of players from the Waverley team that to watch for of number 42, Gary Vear. He plays on a half-back flank, very, very good footballer, and we'll have to try and keep the ball away from his side of the ground. And also a youngster they've got in there, number 13, by the name of Geoff Wenbourne, and very promising player. So there goes the siren, and the umpires are on the ground. The Berwick team's on the ground. We're now just waiting for the Waverley team to come out and to get the match underway.
Thanks, John. Yeah, the umpires today, as I mentioned earlier, just in a pre-match summary, the umpires today are Steer and Black. The field umpires, the boundary umpires are Fulton and Greene, and the goal umpires are Messrs Douglas and Robinson. Now, just waiting on the Waverley side to come out on the ground, run through. Barry Williams, no doubt, will be leading them out through the banner to signify his 100 games. Berwick side just having a warm-up. They've got their tracksuit tops off over the other side of the ground there and having a bit of a warm-up, and shortly we'll have the toss of the coin, and the action will start here at the big Waverley ground. Here he comes, Barry Williams, onto the ground for Waverley, breaks the banner. Waverley side look from here at this stage to perhaps to be a bigger side than Berwick. The strong, heavy side. We've had just as they run out through the banner there, they looked at John to me as though they've got a fair bit of size.
Yes, they certainly do, Bruce. It's there's quite a few big fellas there. Just having a look at them run onto the ground. Number 12 out there, Robert. I can't read it. He's been crossed off the program. Yeah, Robert Doddy.
He wasn't playing, but there could have been a jumper change there.
Yeah, may have been too, but he's a very big fella. Looks like we could have a bit of trouble with him during the day. But still, we're just doing their warm-ups, and we'll just wait and see how they perform when the ball bounces in the centre. And that's
umpire's calling them in, John.
The umpires whistle them up. There'll be the toss of the coins.
Fairly good crowd here, John, when you have a look around, just while we're waiting for the Waverley side to go over and toss the coin. There's quite a few people here today. Waverley must have a few followers. The car park seems to be fairly full, but there's quite a lot of people around the ground.
Yes, there's a reasonable crowd here, all right. There's a lot of Berwick supporters here today too, Bruce. We saw them over on the hill over there earlier in the day, and they seem to be there. Let's hope they can put a little bit of a cheer up for the Berwick people. Well, the two captains are now going to toss the coin. Number 9, Steve Barnes, the captain coach of Waverley. Peter Allen's won the toss, and he's going to kick to the city end of the Waverley ground.
Thanks, John. Yeah, Peter Allen won the toss. Steve Barnes, captain coach of the Waverley side, out here just on the half-forward flank at the moment after the toss. We'll just see where these players line up now for the Berwick side. Neville Powels has gone to centre half-back position. Robbie Trigg's just around the centre half-forward there. I think he'll probably play there.
McMaster's going to the fullback.
McMaster's going to fullback, is he, John? Yeah.
The two interchanges, John McGreal and Darren Lady have both gone onto the interchange bench.
Johnny McGreal and Darrell Lady, yeah, they've both gone onto the interchange bench. Mick Shears is in his place, half-back flank. Wardy in the ruck, with Kevin Venville to rove to him. Peter Allen in the centre.
Steve Johnson's fullback.
Steve Johnson, is it?
Yes,
Fullback.
McMaster in the back pocket.
McMaster in the back pocket and John Callery in the other back pocket, I see. Righto, the umpire picks up the ball in the centre of the ground and we'll get ready to ball it up to signify the start of the game between Waverley and Berwick. I think Robbie Trigg's at full forward, John. Anyway, I'm just looking down there. Robbie Trigg, Richard Brown centre half forward. Up she goes for the first one. Nobody can get a tap down that time, and the Waverley players handballs it out. Number 13 for Waverley handballs it out to his opponent there, Geoff Wenbourne. And Berwick pick it up and drive it down in there towards Robbie Trigg. Trigg just can't quite pick it up at this stage, and the Waverley players, there's three of them there to one. Berwick player out on the half-forward flank. Mickey Dillon couldn't do much with it at all there, and it goes right across the centre of the ground to Rod Ward, and Peter handballs to Peter Allen, who drops onto his right boot and drives it in, but it could have been a higher kick from Peter Allen there to give them a bit of an opportunity in that forward line. Berwick, the players are scrambling for it now, and the umpire says it'll mine and he'll have a ball up. Ball being balled up in the centre half forward position for Berwick. Neville Powels just can't quite get the tap down, but Berwick player picked it up was Ray Crook. Ray Crook kicks it through for one behind. The first score, so Berwick are the first to score with a point from a pick-up of Ray Crooks. The Waverley's full back, I just can't see his number, kicks it out. It's a pretty good kick too, right out there looking for his player in. Can't pick him up at this stage either, unfortunately, but anyway, it comes right into the centre of the ground where number 5 for Waverley, Barry Williams, the 100 games man, takes a mark in the centre of the ground for Waverley. He kicks it across to the half forward flank. It's a good mark by the Waverley player again. Sort of really unopposed there, John, that time. The Waverley player, Phil Greene.
Yes, no one went with him, and he's put it out onto the half-forward flank with Waverley taking a kick for goal. It's quite a good kick. It's not going to make the distance. Steve Johnson goes out. It's not clear. Mickey Shears with the ball. He drops it. Callery goes in. There's a pile-on of players. The ball comes loose. Waverley got it out of the pack. But, no, it's smothered, and the umpire says, I'll have it, and he's going to bounce it. In the back pocket there for the Berwick team. Roddy Ward going in the ruck for Berwick. He can't get the knockout. It's a scramble of players, and I think the umpire will ball it up again. This big fella number 2 for Waverley, Michael Roberts, he's looks to be their first ruckman. He's going for the knock with Ward. He gets a good knock out into the centre of the ground. There's a scramble of players again. No one can break loose. The ball's pushed along the ground. It's finally picked up by Gary Scott. He looks out for Mick Shears on the half-back flank. Mick follows the ball up, but he can't pick it up. He overruns the ball, and it's picked up by their captain coach. He kicks it back, but safe hands of John Callery in the back pocket.
John Callery with the ball now, drives it down in the centre half forward position, looking for Neville Powels, but can't get it. Barry Williams takes another mark for Waverley. Barry Williams might be a damaging player for the Berwick side today. Down it goes there. Mick Shears tries to mark the ball. He gets a push in the back at the same time. Just didn't quite hang it. It'll be a push in the back. Mick Shears with the ball, number 19 for Berwick, drives it across to the centre of the ground, looking for Peter Allen, but the mark is taken by Tommy Crebbin. Tommy Crebbin handballs across to Peter Allen, who gets it across to Neville Powels. Neville Powels on his right boot drives it into the centre half forward position, but they're not kicking the ball high enough to their players down there, in my opinion. Waverley market. Handball across to the next Waverley player, who is on his own there. He's fighting for the ball. Rod Ward gets over the top of him, gets the ball. The umpire is calling for a play on. Barry Williams taps it across to Mick Shears. Mick Shears gets the ball and kicks it in there to Breen. Breen kicks it all the way down there, but our forwards, the Berwick forwards, are finding it hard to get leading out or getting down their own. The Berwick players just kicking it down there widely. And the Barry Vear, is it? Gary Vear kicks it down there towards the centre of the ground where Steve Barnes, is it? Steve Barnes, the captain coach, now with the ball. Puts it to right foot kick. It's in the centre half forward position for Waverley, and it's a good mark by Tom Crebbins again. Tommy Crebbins gets the mark. You've got to put that ball over on the full. The Waverley player put it down on the ground, and therefore a 15-metre penalty was served. Luxford got his hands to it, but couldn't hold it, and the Waverley players clear it again. They get it in the centre ground where Tommy Crebbins is on his own, and he plays on, kicks it down there, looking for Mark Breen. Mark Breen just can't quite mark it. It comes down, but he's picked it up and he's kicked it through, and it's a goal. It's a good goal that time. A good goal by the Berwick player in Mark Breen. He just couldn't quite hold the mark. The ball went to the ground. He picked it up again and has kicked a goal. Berwick go on to 1-1. Waverley yet to score.
That was good to see. Bruce, Mark Breen, is his third senior game. He's a boy that can play in the under-18s, and he's kicked that goal. That'll give him a bit of confidence, and perhaps he can, on this big spacious ground, he's a mover. Could be a very vital point for the Berwick team today. And the ball's back in the centre with umpire Shear. Bounces the ball, and there's a whistle. One of the Berwick players was over the line in Ray Crook, and it's a free kick to Waverley. Taken by Williams, he handballs across, looking for the captain coach, Barnes. Barnes can't quite pick the ball up, but he's going to get a free kick.
He didn't have it, John. He didn't have the ball in when Wardy grabbed him.
Away they go, move it down. That's Vear again, and the blonde-haired fellow. He's got another, and he's come back to him. He's got another kick. He's right on the half-forward flank. Directs across the centre and picks out one of his players right in front, Geoff Wenbourne. That was the young fellow we mentioned earlier in the day. So it's Wenbourne about 45 metres out in front on a slight angle, but shouldn't have too many difficulty kicking this, but he has. He's missed it, and it's gone through for 1 point. That makes the score at the moment: Berwick 1 goal, 1, 7 points. Waverley no goals, 1 point.
Thanks, Johnny. I went into the rooms earlier to get this Waverley side worked out, and there's quite a few of the numbers that coincide with the reserve side here. I don't know whether you can get away with that, but anyway, with the ball's back into the centre of the ground after a good kick out from the Berwick full-back in Steve Johnson. The umpire blows the whistle. He's found a free kick to Kevin Venville, who's sponsored by John Byron. But anyway, there's a free plug for you, Johnny Byron, if you happen to watch this. Kevin Venville, the ball, he runs on, plays on with it and drives it down there looking for Robbie Trigg, and Robbie Trigg, after a good pass, safe pair of hands in Robbie Trigg, he gets the ball at centre half forward position for Berwick, dead in front. Plays on now and drives it in with a pass to Mickey Dillon. Mickey Dillon gets it across there to Luxford, who handballed it to Ray Crook. And he's dropped it through for a point. So Berwick move on to 1 goal, 2, 8 points. Waverley 1 point. Waverley full back with the ball now. Comes out, right foot, pretty good kick again, looking for his player there, but Peter Allen comes over the top of him, tries to punch the ball out of his hands, and he's come over the top of him, and the umpire's found a free kick to Zacharian. Bird Zacharian with the ball. Bird Zacharian kicks it up pretty long again. Here's Rod Ward and Darren Williams going for it. Can't get it, nobody has picked up off the ground by Wardy, was it? Wardy, and across down there to the Waverley player again. He kicks it across there towards the centre of the ground, and up they go. Unopposed is Mick Shears, and Mick Shears tries a handball to Jim McMaster, who can't quite pick it up. He's knocked it, tapped it across the ground to Mick Shears again, but the Waverley have intercepted it in player number 36, Darren Arthur. Darren Arthur kicks it across there to half-forward position, and Waverley having most of the play at this stage. Tommy Crebbins is in there, and the ball has gone over the line and out of bounds. Right in front of the New Oakley Motors sign on the Springvale road side of the ground. In it comes Rod Ward, gets a good tap down there to Neville Powels. Neville Powels can't do much, so the pack's formed, and the umpire says, "I'll have it," and ball it up.
Yes, the ball up on the far side of the ground, the Springvale road side of the ground. A very congested play so far in this term. Both teams taking a while to settle down. And yes, he's bounced up. What's he found? Another ball up. Don't think any of the players were quite sure what he was going to do then, but he has found a ball up.
Anybody's too sure out here, John, on that one.
Up they go. Ward, he can't get the knockout. This time he's found a free kick and he's given it to Rodney Ward. Rodney Ward, Berwick's ruckman, on the half-back flank, takes the kick on the outer side of the ground. He's looking out there for Crook. Crook couldn't get the mark. The ball hits the ground, and that's Vear, 42 of Waverley. He's one of the fellas that they mentioned to us earlier, was one of their better players, and he certainly had his 4 or 5 kicks already today. Here he is on the half-back flank, takes the kick, looking for his half-forward, who's on his own. No one with him. Running loose there on that half-forward flank at the moment. We don't seem to pick them up. But yes, and the full forward, he's moved out and taken a nice mark. Greg Newbold. He's not very far out, about 40 metres out, I'd say, Bruce.
Right, Greg Newbold for the Waverley side with the ball now comes in. Nice drop punt kick. Put it right down there. It hasn't made the distance, and the ball has been punched through off the pack by the Waverley player for 1 point. John Cowrie with the ball now. He's going to kick out to the Berwick side. John Cowrie slams towards the centre of the ground. There's nobody there. He's looking for Peter Allen, but the ball falls a bit short, and Darren Arthur with it. Darren Arthur plays on to Graham Joyce. Graham Joyce then handballs across to Kindenberg, and he kicks it down there into the forward pocket position to Michael Roberts. Michael Roberts on the Waverley side with the ball now. He's on a slight angle, about 30 metres out. Body over the ball, comes in, lines him up, and I'll tell you what, it looks pretty good to me. The umpire signal a goal, and that's Waverley's first goal. Now the score's a level. Waverley 1 goal, 2, 8 points. Berwick 1 goal, 2, 8 points. Scores a level. The ball goes back into the centre. What do you think about it so far, John?
Yeah, pretty scrambly game, Bruce, so far. Neither team seems to have settled down completely, but the Berwick team on the half-back line seem to be a little loose, and they seem to be able to get a loose man running there and have managed to pick up that 1 goal to even the score.
Right, the ball's bounced up in the centre again, and Wardy gets the knockdown after a pretty ordinary ball up from the umpire. The umpire has found a free kick there. I just couldn't quite pick that up myself, what it was for. And Phil Greene kicks it across to his teammate, who's marked it just in front of the Berwick player. He kicks it down there towards the forward pocket position, and your comments, John, were pretty right. The forward line for Berwick, letting their players run around, and the player with the ball is Greg Newbold again. The Berwick side letting the Waverley forwards run around a little bit on their own, and also I feel that here he comes, he's kicked it in, and it's another goal. So Waverley go on now to 2 goals, 2, 14 points to Berwick 1 goal, 2, 8 points. Waverley have hit the front in about the 10-minute mark into the first quarter. The Berwick side seems scrambly. They're not settled down at all. They're not sticking to their men on the forward line. And when they do get the ball, the Berwick players on the forward line, the back line rather, to kick it, John, they just seem to want to kick it anywhere. They're not passing or looking for their teammate in the games previous that I've seen.
No, they were a little bit loose there at the moment. But anyway, the ball's bounced into centre, and out come Waverley again. And there's no one with this big fella. He's going to pay it. He only just held it. On his own again, this is Michael Roberts. But looking for a short pass, and there's 2 of them. Either of them could take it, and there's no one with them on this back line either, Bruce. They're behind. They're 2 or 3 yards behind, and of course this allows that Wenbourne, I think it is, isn't it? Geoff Wenbourne to take a kick directly in front, at 40 metres out. That's true, and I think it's only a point this time. Yes, just a point. Notice Steve Johnson is taking the kick off this time from the Berwick side. Looks out for a short pass, looking out for the captain coach Peter Allen. He takes the mark in the back pocket on the far side of the ground. Allen with the ball, looking up the wing there, looking for Neville Powers. Neville Powers to get pushed out in the pack. The ball hits the ground, and the Waverley Rovers come through again, picking it up. It's a half smothered, and Mick Shear is able to get through, take the mark, and kick forward, giving it to Mickey Dillon, who put it over to the back pocket player of Berwick, and he's got it forward. Venable out on that flank, puts it across the centre. No one can take the mark. The umpire calls play on, and it'll be a ball up at centre half forward.
Thanks, John. Yes, it's ball up at the centre half forward position. The umpire comes in. He bounces the ball pretty well this time. Up goes Wardy, taps it down. Nobody can get it clear, but Waverley pick it up and get it out to the Mark Harvey lookalike. Gary Vear again. Venville picks it up after Gary Vear got caught with it, and he heads it in towards there, and Berwick score a point. A little bit unlucky, Kevin Venville, that time, that he never had enough time. His distance was okay to get it through, but Berwick have scored a point, and they go on to 1 goal 3. Waverley 2 goals 13. Fullback trying to kick it out before the flags had been finished waved, and the Waverley fullback to change his mind this time and kicks it out towards Robert Shade. Robert Shade with the ball now, brings it for Waverley, looking for his playing Williams, but Wardy taps it down beautifully for Berwick. Down the ground it comes again. Here's Peter Allen hot on the tails of the Waverley player. In number 10, he handballs across to Mick Shears. Mick Shears gets it clear. Wardy's on his own, but gets it tapped out of his hand by the Waverley player in Robert Shade, and gets a free kick. He plays on to Mick Shears. Mick Shears with the ball drives it down in there towards the goals, and it goes through for a point again just ahead of the Waverley player. So Berwick 1 goal 4 now to Waverley 2 goals 3.
Fullback for Waverley, Robert Soddy kicks it out to the far side of the ground, finds his lead out there on the half-back flank, looking for his wingman. Tommy Crebbin's over there with him. It's a scramble of play. Tommy Crebbin gets out with the ball, gets it across to Nick Dillon. Nick Dillon kicks wide, but there's no one there for Berwick, and it's taken on the half-back line for Waverley. Handballed across. See who this player is. He's Geoff Costello. He dropped the ball as he was trying to handball away, and I think the umpire's going to give him a free kick. Yes, the umpire's found a free kick out there for him. He kicks across to Klomp, I think it is Vear, Gary Vear. The Waverley player needs to stay on the centre. Mick Shears knocks the ball away. It comes loose in the centre, and Waverley are running loose again. Kicks out to the flank here, looking for the captain coach. He gets his boot to the ball. It goes across the centre. Neville Powels is pushed out, but the umpires calls play on. The ball's picked up and it's hit the top of the point post, which means it'll be a throw in right in the back pocket at the Berwick end of the ground.
Yeah, the captain coach Steve Barnes got it across towards Phil Greene that time, John, and he had a snap shot and hit the post. Now with the ball is Jim McMaster. Jim McMaster for Berwick kicks it down here, looking for Luxford. He can't take the mark. The pack fly, the ball comes to the ground, and Phil Greene for Waverley tries there. He nearly held the Berwick player in Gary Scott. Gary Scott got it across to Powles here, heads there. Mick Shears handball to Kevin Venville running through, and nearly got caught. Kevin Venville on his own, bounces it twice, run round the Waverley player again, and good play that time. Looks for Robbie Trigg, and he's played on. Robbie Trigg takes the mark for Berwick, lines them up, and drops it in. And I'll tell you what, he's just lobbed it through for a point. Just a little bit more time by Triggy, and we may have seen a goal scored. Berwick 1 goal 5 now. To Waverley 2-3-15. A great run by Kevin Venville for that score. Now here's Waverley. They've dropped the ball onto his boot, and Gary Vear kicks it out to unopposed player in number 14, Peter Costello. Peter Costello runs around the Berwick player, puts it down here, and here's another Waverley player unattended, Phil Greene, but he can't take the mark. The ball's hit the ground, and the player's scrambling forward. Waverley tap it out to number 45 in for Robert Shade. He goes back to Phil Greene, number 10 for Waverley, and send it down there. The Berwick forwards behind, and the ball is forced out over the line. It's off, came off Neville Powell's boot. It was on the full. Steve Barnes for Waverley picks it up and drives into the centre half forward position. He can't take the mark. Mick Shears is in everything up there today. John gets it down to Williams, and Williams for Waverley with the ball now in the forward pocket, half forward flank position. John Cowley could have been in front that time. The Waverley player, Tony Allen, number 4, has the ball, and he gets it across into the centre half forward position to Steve Barnes, their captain coach, with it. And Steve Barnes comes back, lines them up, gets it onto his boot. The ball swung away towards the full forward position. A good punch out by the Berwick player. That time down to McMaster. He can't pick it up. And there's Venville again. The snappy little rover gets it across looking for Tommy Crebbin, but there's Gary Vear, takes a good mark. Good mark, Gary Vear, on the half forward flank position for Waverley, just over the top of Tommy Crebbin. It was a good mark. Going to have a shot, put it down in that full forward position. I'm not too sure how Gary Vear kicks, but in just a short moment or two we'll know. Gary Vear for Waverley with the ball, comes in, right footer. Nobody's moved, and it's a goal. It's another goal to Waverley. Waverley now 3 goals 3 to Berwick 1 goal 5, 11 points.
Yes, as this seems was mentioned before the game that he was a danger player for the Berwick team, and he's certainly proving it in this first quarter. Bruce, he's had quite a lot of kicks. He's playing on a half-back flank. He's followed the ball down there and managed to take the mark and then kick the goal. Quite an accurate kick. Anyway, the ball's back in the centre with umpire Black to bounce the ball.
That's right, good play here.
Bluxford gets the knockout, finds Peter Allen. Allen over there looking for Tommy Crebbin. Crebbin's got the ball on the half-forward flank, looking for Trigg. Trigg leads out into the pocket and takes the mark.
Good strong mark.
Yes,
John.
a good mark out there in the forward pocket for Berwick. It's Robert Trigg. He's on quite an acute angle, nearly on the boundary line, probably about 40 to 45 metres out. He got a lead there from Breen, but he's going to ignore it. He's going to have a shot for goal. Trigg kicks a right-footed shot for goal. It's hard to see what happened there.
Point.
1 point.
Only a point.
1 point. The umpire took a little bit of time to make his mind up, but decided on a point. And out come Waverley. This is Vear again, leads a short pass out on the back, and away he goes. He's looking for his other player out on the wing here. He gets the kick into the centre. They all fly. Powels knocks the ball away, picked up and taken by Calorie. Calorie breaks clear, looking for Peter Allen. He's got to go hard. It's still hard to have. Venville takes the ball away from him. Umpire calls play on. Out there looking for Dillon. Dillon on the half forward flank. He's hit after the goal. I think he's kicked to goal. The umpire's running up to the goal umpire to have a word with him. Yes, he's said it's a goal, and they're going to pay a goal there. He doesn't have to take the free kick. So that now takes the score on to Berwick. 2 goals. Hard. 2 Dell, 6 behinds. Yes, 3 goals, 3 Waverley.
Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, that was good play that time by the Berwick players. They got on their own. They used their team well, handball, and we saw a good goal that time, kicked by. You write that down. Up the ball goes again in the centre, and it comes down to the ground. Nobody can get away, and the umpire says the pack's formed, and I'll have it back. Thanks very much. Umpire with the ball, umpire steer it is with the ball, bounces it again, up she goes. Darren Williams, a beautiful knockdown that time, got up high and knocked Luxford down in the centre of the ground. The ball comes across there to number 36 for Waverley in Darren Arthur, and Darren Arthur drops it down there and for only 1 point. He's offline that time, Darren Arthur for Waverley, and the ball goes through for a point. The Waverley score now, 3 goals, 4-22 to Berwick, 2 goals, 6-18. Steve Johnson kicks the ball in, a beautiful kick looking for Neville Powers. He can't get it, and the ball comes to the ground. Waverley getting it off the ground a lot better. They're roving their packs better than Berwick at this stage. They get it over in their centre half forward position, where Berwick clear through Jim McMaster. Jim McMaster with the ball. He has a couple of bounces and gets on his right foot now. A bit of a wobbly kick, and the Waverley player, unfortunately for Berwick, is in front. He gets the ball and plays on. Drives it across the centre of the ground now towards the Waverley centre half forward. It comes off the pack again, and Waverley roving again in Phil Greene, number 10. Ball's down on the ground, and Waverley clear it away again through number 4, Tony Allen. He gets it out to Gary Vear, who's come up the ground again. He can read the play well, this Gary Vear. He gets a kick, and then the ball's gone over the line and out of bounds in the half forward flank position for Waverley on the Springvale side of the ground. Boundary umpire with the ball now. In it comes Rod Ward. Gets the tap down that time to Berwick, number 40. Dillon gets it along the ground, but Waverley there on their own, unattended. Handball across to number 13 for them in Wenbourne. Wenbourne kicks it down the centre half forward position. Ball can't be marked, and the captain coach can't pick it up in Steve Barnes, with the ball still on the ground. Waverley cleared away again out of the pack, so handball across to Michael Roberts. Michael Roberts on his left foot, and he's kicked a goal. A good goal by Michael Roberts for Waverley. Waverley move on to 4 goals, 4, and Berwick 2 goals, 6. That Waverley side, John, are picking the ball up off the ground. They're throwing themselves in a little bit harder when packs are formed, and knocking the ball out. They're roving their packs a bit better, wouldn't you say, John?
Yes, Bruce. They seem to want the ball a little bit more than Berwick just at the moment. That was Neville or Michael Roberts' second goal. He's going to be a bit of a problem down there. He seems to be a little bit big for when he's resting in that forward pocket, and we don't seem to be able to get over the top of him. Anyway, the ball's bounced in the centre, and Berwick get the breakaway through Tommy Crebbin. Crebbin down there looking for Richard Brown. Richard Brown takes the mark at centre half forward, and he's going back to take a kick. He's usually quite a good kick, Bruce, so we could possibly get a goal out of this. Goes back, takes the kick. It's made the distance. Yeah, oh! No, Gary Vear got up on the back of the Berwick player and managed to touch the ball before it went through. He's certainly had a lot of touches and possessions in this game so far, this Gary Vear. The ball's bounced there, it's comes loose in the pack. Waverley are able to get it, no one can pick it up at the moment. Now Waverley get it clear, but he's tackled and drops the ball. Luxford gets in there, he can't get it right to Ray Crook. Ray Crook takes a kick, but I think it's going to be a point. Yes, it's only one point. Berwick, I think there is just a slight breeze down there, Bruce. It's not a real influential one, but it seems to be facing the end that Berwick are kicking, and they seem to be wasting it.
Yeah, right, fair enough. There probably is a breeze down there on the ground, but it's a bit hard for us to pick it up in the stand here. Meanwhile, the play's back in the centre ground, and Waverley once again drive it down to their centre-half forward position. Jim McMaster can't pick it up. He gets it out towards Gary Scott. Gary Scott on his right foot gets across to Tommy Crebbin. Tommy Crebbin with the ball now. Kicks it down, looking for Robbie Trigg again. And there's two of them there, the Berwick players, but it goes over the back of the pack. Number 14 for Waverley and Peter Costello handballs it across to his other player who... has kicked it out along the ground, and Steve Barnes tried hard to kick it off the ground, but it didn't come off either, nearly in danger, and very clear. And he's handballed to Mick Dillon.
He's now asked him again.
And Mick Dillon was clipped under the ear as he kicked it, and he's kicked a goal, and the umpire said all clear, and he's allowed it without giving him a free kick. Berwick now move on to 3 goals, 7-25, but they're trailing Waverley 4-4-28. Only 3 points separating them, about 20 minutes into the first quarter.
Yeah, that's the second goal that Mick Dillon's kicked, and both times he's got hit after he's had a kick at the ball, and the umpire's gone up and checked with the goal umpire to make sure it was a goal, and obviously was going to give him another kick had either of them missed. The ball's back in the centre now with umpire Steer this time bouncing the ball. Up they go, and it's clear, and good nut by Ward up to Mick Dillon again. He takes another long kick looking for his third goal. It's going to bounce through.
It's a goal.
Yes, it's a goal. Great play by Mickey Dillon. Now, Berwick have got back into the game a little bit. Bruce, the young bloke, Mick Dillon, and also Kevin Venville, the two rovers are starting to get the ball out of the centre, which seems to make a lot of difference.
Yes, John, I think that if you look at that one, Rod Ward, a fantastic knockdown by Wardy from the centre bounce that time, and Berwick Rovers got it away, and it's put Berwick in front with a score of 4 goals, 7-31 to Waverley 4-4. The umpire has the ball back in the centre again. Umpire Steer with the ball, bounces it. Up it goes. Rod Ward can't get the tap down that time. Darren Williams did, but Berwick intercept the player. Tommy Grevens picks it up off the pack. The pack is formed, and the umpire says, I'll have it, and we'll ball it up again. Umpire Black with the ball. In the centre of the ground. Comes in, bounces it high. Up goes Rod Ward. Darren Williams gets to knock down again to Phil Greene of Waverley, but he can't get his kicked off the ground by Peter Allen. Peter Allen, the Waverley player, intercepts there and turns around and has a snap kick, and Phil Greene gets in front of the Berwick player that time, and Gary Vear picks it up off his hands and kicks it in, but Williams dropped it. It was a good pass, and Williams drops it. He picks it up, handballs across. The Waverley player twists and turns, can't get away with it, and Waverley clear it again through Philip Roberts. Down it comes into forward position. Steve Johnson with a good punch away, but once again Waverley roving the packs pretty well. Pick it up in Costello, I think it is, in number 45 for Waverley. No, Robert Shade, I'm sorry. And another pack's formed, and the umpire says it's a free kick. I was looking for the number of that Waverley player and missed what that free kick was for, but you'll be able to pick it up on the video at a later date. Steve Barnes with the ball, comes in on his right foot, drives it in, and it goes over the line and out of bounds. Wright player kicks it straight across the face of goal, and it's gone out of bounds on the full. Peter Allen, captain coach of Berwick, with the ball. Looking for a lead. Looking for Rod Ward, and Peter Allen kicks it down the centre of the ground to looking for Gary Breen. Gary Breen, a good mark. Judged the ball really well, turns around. Mark Breen forward now, kicks it down towards Robbie Trigg, who's in front, and he's taking a good mark under pressure. And Triggy decided to play on. He got a bit of a bang on the head too, but he's going to get the free kick again. Umpire right there, there's no need to argue about that one. And Robert Trigg with the ball. Lucky to get away with that. He's passed across to Peter Allen, who nearly lost it by the captain coach of Waverley. Peter Allen turns beautifully, drops on his right foot, and I'll tell you what, he's dropped it through. A good goal from Peter Allen on the run as he turned. A great goal, a good kick, a Jim Jess type kick that time, in my opinion. But anyway, the score goes on to Berwick 5-7, 37 to Waverley 4-4, 28. That's the way Jesse got a goal the other day against the Bombers, John. I just happened to be right in front of me.
Yeah, that was good, strong play by Peter Allen. He used his body well. He pushed and shoved till he got the ball in, broke clear, and took his time and put it straight through the middle. That's taken the score on to Berwick 5 goals 737 to Waverley 4 goals 428. The ball's bounced in the centre again, and it's Allen again who's got the ball. Handballs out to Scott running past. Scott's out there looking for Luxford. Luxford couldn't get the ball, and it's taken away by Tony Allen of Waverley. Knocked it on, and it goes out of bounds. Boundary umpire to throw in on the far side of the ground on the half-forward flank for Berwick. Ward goes in for the knock. Can't quite get it go. It comes down Berwick's way, and it's Tommy Crebbin who gets clear with the ball. Brings it across the ground, looking for centre half forward, but there's no one there. Oh yeah, Mark Breen comes over the top of the pack, but no, he doesn't. Yes. No, he told it to the Waverley player as the siren goes for quarter time.
John, quarter time here at Waverley now, and the scores are Berwick 5 goals 737 to Waverley 4 goals 428. Not much in this game. They started off scrambly. Berwick let the Berwick backline let the Waverley forwards loose, run around, and they scored their goals fairly easily. Berwick was struggling earlier. They weren't kicking the ball long or trying to put it up there to Robert Trigg. Once they've started to kick the ball high, with Robert Trigg leading out, he's taking the marks, and our rowers in Venville and Dillon have done well that quarter. In the second half of the quarter especially, started to row the packs, and Berwick, needless to say, have gone on to that lead at quarter time. A quarter time interval at Waverley. I have Debbie with me. Debbie, as you know, is a very, very loyal supporter and a hard worker for the Berwick Football Club in the social things. Deb, could you tell me what social activities are coming up as far as the football club's concerned?
Well, tomorrow night we've got a ladies' picture night. If any of the guys see this tonight or tomorrow and their ladies interested in going, just tell them to be at the Berwick pub at 7 o'clock. We have got a lot of tickets booked, but they assure us there'll be more tickets available there. And then on May the 12th, we've got our fun and games night up at the football club rooms.
Very good, Debbie. Yeah, the picture night sounds all right. They tell me there'll be some refreshments on the bus and supper afterwards. So, ladies, or boys, if your girlfriends or wives want a night out, better get along to the picture night, and don't forget the fun and games night up at the rooms on what date?
May the 12th.
May the 12th. That's my wife's birthday. Right, Debbie, the social club, how are you going as far as fundraising is concerned with the canteen, etc.?
The canteen's not part of ours. That's separate.
I'm terribly sorry. Well, I made a boo-boo there, but anyway, I saw you working in there the other day, so I thought it must have been part of it.
Well, as with the canteen, it's sort of anyone that goes up, if they want to help, just give someone a rest. They just go up and help for a little while. It just gives everybody a chance to get and watch the game.
Righto, now Debbie, have you watched the game up to date? What are your comments on the game so far today?
I think by kicking longer and stuff like that, they're much better than doing like a lot of short hand passes that they usually play. So it's better. They're getting there.
Right, no worries. Yeah, I think when they started to kick it long and Rob Trigg led out, they started to realise that that was the thing to do, and they got a few goals. Debbie, thanks very much for coming up here at quarter time. We don't get a lot of time to think about questions and what you've got to say, but you've done very well, and we hope that this time it comes out on the video and we'll see ourselves on the TV in the pub. Debbie, thanks very much, and all the best for your social functions coming up.
Thank you.
And we're about to get on with the big game here at Waverley this afternoon. Waverley 4 goals 428 at trailing Berwick 5-7-37. Just the conditions of the ground are very good. As I said earlier, the grass is a bit long perhaps, and we'll see who the fitters of these sides are through it before the end of the day. And the running, the siren sounded, the umpire Steer has the ball in the centre of the ground, comes in to bounce it up. In he comes, umpire Steer with a good bounce again. Up they go. Williams and Ward just neither got the tap out that time, but it's come down to Kevin Venville, who's roving the packs really well. Kev Venville picked the ball up and gets it down to the centre half forward position for Berwick. They scramble and knock it along the ground, and Waverley clear. The umpires found a free kick to the Waverley player. I'll tell you who was pushed in the back. Waverley player in number 13, Geoff Wenbourne. Geoff Wenbourne with the ball, kicks it down long now, looking for Williams again. Nobody can take the mark. Over the back of the pack it goes. It's picked up that time by number 19 for Berwick in Mick Shears, of course. Mick Shears gets it down there to Luxford. The umpire says it's a free kick. He didn't throw it over there on the full. and the Waverley player has the ball again. Kicks it down there, the Waverley player, to Steve Barnes. Steve Barnes with a good kick for Waverley again to the full forward position. The Berwick full-back trying to take the mark, but it comes to the ground. Jim McMaster picks it up, handballs across to Venville. Venville for Berwick now with the ball. Another handball, puts Mick Shears under a lot of pressure, who taps it on. Jim McMaster still in there and then looking for a handball again. He handballs to nobody, out in the space it is. And the Waverley players held without... well, not in possession against Wardy that time. He kicks it down to an unopposed Waverley player in number 36, Darren Arthur, and Darren Arthur kicks it straight down, and they score a goal. Waverley with their first score in the first couple of minutes of the second quarter. Waverley move on to 5-4, 34 to trailing Berwick still on 5-7, 37. Ball back in the centre, the umpire has it. Bounces it up high. Rod Ward up there for the top down. Waverley clear it out from the centre again with a kick. And the Berwick player elbowed, pushed Shears out. But they haven't seen it. Oh yes, he has. The umpire's giving it the other way. Good decision, umpire. I was surprised that the umpire even considered the Waverley player in it. But Mick Shears with the ball now. Good kick into the centre of the ground, looking for Peter Allen. It's too long for him. Over the back it goes. Brown can't get it. He tries to tap it down, and Waverley clear it through number 18, Kinnenborough. Jim McMaster on his own takes the mark on the chest and goes back. He's looking for his touch, and the umpire calls play on. Short it comes, and Gary Scott that time with the ball picks it up. He tries to get a handball over to Jim McMaster. Waverley are in, got players everywhere here, and they clear it away through number 1 into Leggy. Roberts has got the ball now and kicks it down for Waverley into the centre half forward position, and nearly a really good mark that time over the top of John Cowley, but they can't. It's cleared out through Mick Shears again. Handballs to Cowley. Cowley with the ball drives it across to Tommy Crebbin. Good pass. Cowley always a good pass. Crebbin a good mark. Kicks it back to looking for Mickey Dillon, and Mickey Dillon Mickey Dillon gets the free kick. That's right, he's got it. Mick Dillon, number 40 for Berwick. No one to kick it to. It's a short pass, and it's intercepted by Waverley through number 23, Graham Joyce. A bad mistake that time by Berwick, and he gets it down to the captain coach of the Waverley in Barnes. Barnes can't get it across to his player, and it's intercepted once again by Mick Shears. Mick Shears has been in everything up to date. He gets it back to the centre of the ground to, who's that, Johnny?
Dillon.
Dillon again. Taps it out across to...
Peter Allen.
Peter Allen. Here, have a go, mate.
Yeah, the ball comes loose on the half-back flank, and Waverley clear it. They're on their own on the centre wing. I think it's number 12 for Waverley. He's got clear onto the half-forward flank to Barnes, and he puts it nicely across the centre for an easy mark to Roberts. Roberts is only about 40 metres out, pretty well directly in front. The backmen haven't been able to pick him up at all. He seemed to take marks pretty well at ease on that forward line. Bruce, he hasn't had any trouble all day. Goes back, takes his kick, and it looks very close from here. Umpire doesn't move, and it's another goal to Waverley. So Waverley now go on to 6 goals 4 to Berwick's 5 goals 7. And that would make Roberts' third goal for the day.
Yeah, Roberts unopposed. On each time he's got a goal, he's just about been unopposed, and he's a good kick, and he's kicked a goal for the Waverley side. In the centre of the ground now, the umpire Black has the ball. He comes in to bounce it up. Black bounces it, wobbly bounce, and Wardy on his own taps it down to Venville, who handballs to Crebbin. Crebbin kicks it long there, looking for Luxford. Luxford takes the mark. Luxford for Berwick, picks it up, and he handballs across to Peter Allen. I'd sooner see him have a long kick, but anyway, Allen handballs it to Scott, who drives it down in the full forward position, looking for Robert Trigg, who never took his eyes off the ball and took a great mark. On an angle about 10 metres out from the goal. Good play that time. I'm a bit inclined to think that Berwick would be a little bit better to kick it long at times, John, but they got away with it okay that time. Robert Trigg with the ball. Good safe kick. It's Robert Trigg. Robert Trigg comes in now, right foot, and umpire, nobody moves, and it's a goal to the Wickers. Berwick move on, 6 goals 7 to Waverley, 6-4 40.
Yes, that's Robert Trigg's first goal for the game. He needs to have that kicking boot on today at full forward for us, Bruce, to make sure that we can stay right into this game and give Waverley a real hard run in that last half. Goalkickers at the moment for Berwick, Peter Allen 1, Robert Trigg 1, Mickey Dillon 3, and Mark Breen 1. The ball's back in the centre now with umpire Black. Bounces the ball. Ward's doing a lot of the ruck work here, but he can't get the knock. It's cleared by Waverley. They're away, but McMaster's got a chance to clear for Berwick. Pushes it onto Calorie, nearly puts him under a lot of pressure, and the ball scrambled down there. And umpire Steele will run in and bounce the ball. Centre half forward for the Waverley team. The ball's bounced. No one goes up for Berwick. They all stood back and watched each other, and the ball comes loose, scramble out the back line. It's picked up by Powels. He gets it out there for Cheers. Cheers out to Tommy Crebbin. Tommy Crebbin handballs, puts McMaster under pressure, but he's able to get away with it. Got it back to Crebbin. Crebbin looking for Crook, but no, there's that man again, Vear, Gary Vear. He's really playing a great game. And it's out on the full, yes. The ball's kicked out there, out on the full. The two Berwick players collided with Wenbourne, and the Berwick player was really hurt. I think it might be Captain Coach Peter Allen that really copped one down there on the back. But it's a great mark by the Waverley player on the centre half back. It's Williams, 100-game man. He kicks it out there looking for the half forward flank. Shears in front. Shears can't get the ball, but he backs up well. Gate breaks clear, looking for Richard Brown. Brown takes a strong mark. Handballs over to Luxford. Luxford knocks it on beautifully to Crook. Oh, Crook's caught around and act too high, and we'll get the free kick. He's on back to Brown. Brown puts in a short one, looking for Trigg. Trigg's able to beat him. Runs around, takes his kick. He's pushed after the kick, and the umpire's going to play either a free kick or down the ground. That's a free kick just out. We're getting a bit excited here, Bruce.
Well,
a good passage of play, wasn't
having a look at Peter Allen. He's taken a bad knock, Peter Allen, and he's come back onto the ground. He's out in the centre half forward position there. He's holding his head, so let's hope that Peter can stay up there and we'll be okay, if provided he doesn't try and do too much. Have a rest for a minute. Robert Trigg with the ball now after the free kick. He got hit after he got rid of the ball. Robbie Trigg comes in. He's missed it this time, and it's only a point. Doesn't often miss him, Robbie Trigg, but anyway, he missed that one, and Berwick 6 goals 8 now to Waverley 6 goals 4, 40 points. Waverley full back with the ball, taps it onto his boot, and decides to have a bit of a run. Full back for Waverley is Robert Soddy. Kicks it out there, Waverley can't take the mark, and Robert Ward picks it up and handballs across to Peter Allen, who's come good all of a sudden. Peter Allen kicks it on, and it's going to roll through, and it's a goal. A good goal. Berwick deserved a goal out of that one. No doubt about it. Rod Ward picked it up, handballed across to Peter Allen, who got the ball and kicked it through for another goal. Berwick 7-8. Leading Waverley 6 goals 4. Ball's back in the centre. Berwick showing a bit more determination. 10 minutes into the second quarter. Up the ball goes again. Rod Ward gets the tap down. Beautifully rowed by Kevin Venville. Great player onto his left foot. Gets it across there to Mark Breen. Mark Breen can't quite hold the mark. He was on his own. He should have. Mark Breen tries to pick it up. He's under pressure. And the Waverley player making it very hard for him. And he's awarded the free kick for Court while in possession against Mark Breen. Waverley kick it down. Nobody can take the mark. It goes over the back of the back. The umpires found a free kick against Rod Ward for a push in the back to Darren Williams.
Yeah, Rod Ward, he asked us very specifically before the game that his name was Rod and not Robbie.
Yeah, well, I don't think I said Rod. It's sort of a tongue twister. Anyway, in the centre of the ground now is Waverley with the ball, number 45. Robert Shade. Robert Shade lines him up, dropped it down there, and only 1 point. It's offline. Comes this side of the goalpost, and the umpire says only a point. That puts Waverley. I can't see that, Johnny. I should have bought my glasses. I came in Dave Wilson's car and left my glasses with my wife. It's 6 goals 5 to Berwick 7 goals 8. I have trouble with 6s, 3s, 8s, and 9s. Anyway, back to you, John.
Yeah, that's a long way across that ground, and those letters aren't too big over there. Meanwhile, the ball's been kicked out from the full-back position. It's picked up on the half-forward flank for Waverley. It's a handball out there, dangerous situation for Berwick, but the Waverley bug is caught. The umpire says holding the ball to him, and he'll bounce the ball. Gary Scott was the guy who tackled the Waverley half-forward then. The ball comes loose. Mick Shears can't get it out of the way. Now we've got it clear, and it's picked up by Tommy Crebbin on the half-back flank. He kicks across the centre of the ground, but there's no one there. It's all Waverley players. And down they stream, looking for their centre half forward. The big fellow in front is Roberts. He can't take the mark. There's a scramble of players. It comes loose. McMaster for Berwick dives on the ball. He can't get it loose, and on the umpire will take another bounce up in that back pocket. Ward again going to the knockout for Berwick. Can't get it, it's Fakenham and thrown over the top, but here's a chance for Berwick to clear the ball, but he'd bustled out of the way, Johnson. He couldn't get to the ball at all. And there's a scramble and the free kick goes to the other little fellow, Dillon, who's had quite a few kicks so far in this game. He's the top goal scorer for Berwick with 3. Michael Roberts of Waverley's also kicked 3. Oh, Powels was pushed out there, but there's no free kick. He goes on. Scott gets in front. Can't quite get the ball. The ball comes loose, and it's Johnson. Johnson pushes the ball forward, and it goes out of bounds on the half-forward flank.
Steve Johnson was grabbed a bit high that time, John, too. I thought that nearly could have been a free kick.
Yes, it appeared that way from our view here, Bruce, but anyway, the umpire didn't see it. The captain-coach of Waverley takes a kick, and there again, he's that big fellow on his own in the forward pocket. Costello. Oh, and here comes loose that fellow that just kicked a goal before, Arthur, I think it is. Yes, and it's kicked his second goal of the game.
Right, that's Darren Arthur. A good kick out by Steve Barnes, the captain coach of Waverley, across to Darren Arthur, and he lined him up and drove it straight through for a goal for Waverley. Waverley 7 goals 5, 47, just trailing Berwick by 3 points, 7-8-50. Ball's back in the centre of the ground now with umpire Steer. Umpire Steer with the ball, comes in to bounce it. Up it goes in the centre of the ground on the beautiful sunny conditions at Waverley. Rod Ward with a good tap down, but no Berwick Rovers are there. Out it comes to Gary Vear. Vear onto his right foot, looking for his teammate there, and a good mark that time taken by Geoff Wenbourne. Geoff Wenbourne, number 13 for Waverley, with the ball. Doesn't look, drives it straight down there, tried to get a lead from his players. Nobody can take the mark. The ball comes down. Neville Powels tried to clear it. Steve Barnes picked it up from the pack. He turned, had a snapshot for it, and it's gone through for 1 point. It takes Waverley under 7 goals 6, 49, trailing Berwick 7-8-50. 1 point separating the sides now. Steve Johnson with the ball, drives good big long drop punt kick down to centre half forward position. Peter Allen pushed and dropped out there, but nobody can take the mark. Comes down. Mick Shears picks it up again. He's been in everything, Mick Shears, to date. Looking for Rod Ward on his own. Notice that Rod Ward with the ball on the right boot. Looking for Kevin Venville, but it's going to beat him and goes over the line and out of bounds just on the Berwick centre half forward position. Mick Shears has played a really good game to date. So has Rod Ward in the ruck. Kevin Venville around the ground. In it comes. Rod Ward again. Three Waverley players, and they give Rod Ward gets a kick against Gary Vear that time for tapping Wardy around the head. Rod Ward with the ball now, picks it up. Gone for the long kick, looking for Robbie Trigg again. The Waverley player's fallen over. Trigg's there, and I'll tell you what, it should be a 15-metre nearly as well, in my opinion. But anyway, he tried to tap the ball out of his hand, and got Triggy across the neck. But Trigg marked the ball anyway, and he has it. Robbie Trigg comes in, lines him up. On his right foot, the beautiful kick again. I'll tell you what, it's gone. It's straight through. It's a goal to Berwick, and they go 8-8-56, leading Waverley 7-6-48.
Yeah, that's Robbie Trigg's second goal. He's now kicked 2 goals 3 for the day. He certainly needs his kicking boot on to keep Berwick in the game. That was a great play by Robbie Ward in the ruck. He had 3 Waverley opponents against him before, and he really put in, and they managed to get the free kick. A good mark by Robbie Trigg. As you said, Bruce, it could have been a free kick down even further because he was grabbed around the neck after he'd taken the mark, but still we got the goal out of it. Now Luxford's up in the ruck and he gets the knockout. Looking for Ray Crook. Crook couldn't take the ball. It's a scramble of players. Peter Allen uses strength and gets the ball out of the 10. Looking for Venville. Kevin Venville gets it in front. Judged it beautifully, yes. Took a nice mark there on the half-forward flank. The umpire just called the ball, but Peter Allen backing up beautifully, calls for it from him, but it's a poor kick. Tommy Crebbin takes the ball, takes a snap at goal, but unfortunately Wardy was behind his man there, and the way came Tony Allen, it was the other Allen. Oh, this is a good kick out, but Tommy Crebbin's got another chance on that half-forward flank. Picked the ball up loose, it goes, got Robbie Ward in the man, can't hold the ball, and away it goes, and it's out of bounds for 1 point. No,
I think it's a point.
Point? Yes, I think it has gone through. Yeah, it certainly has gone through the goals for 1 point. Waverley kick out. There's a loose man running out onto this half-back flank, and he finds him. No, he doesn't hold the ball. Richard Brown comes in, he can't handball away. He's scrambling for the ball. Ray Crook's in there, he can't get it out either. Robbie Ward.
Rod Ward.
Yes, we'd better take that back. It's Rod Ward. And,
we ought to get some of these blokes to criticise up here to have a go at this, John, you know.
Yes, it's quite easy to criticise, isn't it, Bruce? But anyway, the ball's bounced up, they go. Rod Ward gets the knockout, comes out to Costello, to the wrong fellow. He's kicked down the ground, and it's a scramble of players. Here's a chance for Waverley again. The ball comes loose on the wing. It's number 45 of Waverley, but he can't. Costello, he couldn't get the ball. It's a scramble again, and it's pretty hard to read these names that have been crossed out, Bruce. But here they go, and it's Waverley in front. This fellow is the captain coach of Waverley, so he needs to steady them down and kick a goal to keep his side in the game. This is a very similar game, Bruce, to the reserves game. It was very close all the way through. Pretty even at half time. Berwick got clear at three-quarter time, and they run over. But Barnes has kicked this goal, and that takes Waverley on to 8 goals. 8?
6, I think it is.
It's pretty hard to read it from here, Bruce. I don't know whether it's an 8 or a 6, but or to 9 goals, really? 9.
G'day, Matthew. Sean.
So we just the ball moved back into the centre, and it'll be umpire Black to bounce the ball.
Right, now up in the commentary position we have two very prominent Berwick men, and Matt Johnson and Shaun Johnson have arrived, and no doubt they'll be here for special comments at half time. Welcome back, Shaun, anyway, on the behalf of the Berwick public, and welcome to the game today. The ball's been bounced in the centre, and Berwick have got the opportunity here with a free kick to get the ball down to the centre half forward position. Looking for can't see who it is that time, but Waverley clear it again through their player in number 12, Robert Sotti. Back they come across there, Waverley now to their centre half forward position. The Waverley player picks it up, looks at it, snaps it across towards their full forward who can't take it. Here's Jim McMaster's left it open for him. He runs round one, picks it up dirty. He'll have a bounce. Jim McMaster with the ball now. Shepherded well again by the Berwick player, and Jim McMaster drives it down there towards Brownie. Brownie goes over his hands down into the Waverley player in Interleague. Sam Interleague gets it across, and Kevin Venville comes in and takes the mark on his chest, skidding along the ground. Kevin Venville played a good game to date. Handballs across to Tommy Crebbin and his other roving partner. Tommy Crebbin drives it in there looking for Wardy, and I'll tell you what, it's going to roll through. No, it's touched. Waverley player in Tony Allen touched the ball, and it's only a point for Berwick. Berwick 8 goals. 10 to Waverley, 8-6-54. This time they kick it in, Waverley. Kick it long. Up they go, and it's in front. The Waverley player will have to get the mark that time in Robert Sotti, is it? Number 12.
Number 12 it is. Yes.
Robert Sotti. Robert Sotti with the ball. Gets it down, not a good kick. It's full short, and Berwick mark it. Gary Scott with the ball. Got to let him go. The umpire told him 3 times to let him go. That's a 15, and the Gary umpire, that was bad. He was just moving down to take his kick. He didn't play on, but the umpire called play on, and pack's formed there. They're trying to get it clear. Nobody can get it clear, but the umpire's decided that the pack is formed, and he will ball it up. Well, here's Matt Johnson signing autographs now up in the stand. Up the ball's bounced again. Luxford can't take it. In he comes Powels. Powels there gets it back across the towards the Waverley half forward line, and they tried to handball. Ducks underneath the play, gets hit too high, and the umpire says we'll have a free kick. It's against Pallotta that time, and the Waverley player Greg Newbold with the ball, number 6. Greg Newbold kicks it down long, and nobody moves, and it's gone through for a goal to Waverley from a free kick. But anyway, that's the way it goes. And Newbold, number 6, Johnny, kicked it. Our stats man here, John Wright. It's a fantastic team. It reminds me of Harry Beitzel and Ray Jacobs up here, Johnny, the way we've got this job going.
Yeah, Berwick have just made a change. They brought Breen off and put on Darren Leahy, who was on the interchange bench. He's come onto the half-forward flank. Pretty even game at the moment. Bruce, 9 goals, 6 Waverley to 9 goals, 10 Berwick. The ball's bounced in the centre, but Waverley got the break again away from that centre. And it's a good mark taken by the Waverley player at centre half forward over Powels. Looking for a lead out where he's got a lead, and it's Roberts again. I think Roberts has already kicked 3 goals. He's going back. Have another shot. Roberts on the half forward flank takes his kick for goal. It's not a bad kind of a kick. The umpire doesn't move, and he's put it through for another goal to Waverley. Well, this is making it a little bit hard to for Berwick. They're going to have to really settle down and put in a little bit of more hard work. Otherwise, they're going to come into that half-time situation being 4 or 5 goals down, Bruce.
Right, Peter Allen telling his players to get on their men, stick tight. As the ball's bounced in the centre of the ground by umpire Black. Up it goes, Rod Ward. Just can't quite to get the knockout. Waverley have put Costello on the ball. And comes across to Peter Allen again, who cops one a bit too high. And the umpire said a free kick. Peter Allen with the ball. Good kick. Down it comes there, that time looking for Robert Trigg again. Robert Trigg can't take the mark, and down the ground it comes. And in Sam Interleague is held when not in position, all pushing them back, either one, and Interleague with the ball. Looking for Gary Vear now. Tom Crebbin gets in front, but Vear marks over the top of him, and he handballs out there towards the centre of the ground, and they get rid of it across there, the Waverley players. There's 2 handballs now, and it gets across to Newbold, who drives it down on his left foot, looking for the Waverley full forward, who they put it a bit short for him to pick up. And he can't quite pick it up, and the pack's forming. The umpire says play on though, and the ball is forced over the line. Ray Cook forced the ball over the line in the Waverley centre half forward position. In it comes, Rod Ward in front, gets the tap down to Gary Scott. Gary Scott clears beautifully, looking for Richard Brown. Richard Brown takes the mark. He's grabbed around the neck. Umpire, it's a 15-metre penalty, and the umpire's called Peter Allen shepherded very well, and Brownie kicks it in the centre half-forward position for Berwick, but the mark is taken strongly by Interleague again. Interleague kicks it across to Wenbourne, and gets it across there to number 36. Darren Arthur with the ball now, drives it down there to the full forward position for Waverley. Nobody can take the mark, and Jim McMaster tried hard to stop the ball, but the Waverley player did a soccer kick, and the ball has hit the post, and Waverley score a point. Waverley 10 goals, 7. Berwick 8-10. Steve Johnson kicks out, gets it to Rod Ward. Rod Ward with the ball now. Drives there, he plays in the mat, poor kick, hits the man on the mark, and it goes over the top where Waverley pick it up, handball, drive it in there and get it around the left foot, and there's another goal to Waverley. Berwick have relaxed a little bit too much, and Waverley get another goal. The Cardinals sin of kicking into your man on your mark, really, Johnny, and that's how Waverley got that goal. It came off the hands there to the Waverley player, who handballed it into his full forward, who snapped, and they get an easy goal. Waverley 11-7 now, 73, leading Berwick 8-10-58. Things can change fairly quickly, John. I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, VFA football, they can kick a lot of goals in a very short space of time, and this is what Waverley are doing just at the moment. They've got the break out of the centre again, and it's coming to a pack of scrambly players. And a little bit of rough stuff going on in there, but they all get up and the umpire takes the ball to bounce it. Robbie Ward seems to be doing most of the rucking for Berwick today. Luxford hasn't been in on the ball a great deal, but it's the Waverley Peter Costello who gets away with the knock, goes down, but it's picked up beautifully by Allen. Allen gets the ball out there, looking for Brown. Brown knocks the ball on. Looking for Luxford. Crebbin and Brown's back in chasing the ball up, but he can't get it. No one can pick it up at the moment. It's taken out there by Gary Vear. He handballs out to Interleague again on the outside. He gets the ball loose out on that back flank for Waverley, looking for his half-forward flanker, who takes it quite easily unopposed, kicks it across the centre, and it's easily taken again by the Bill Greene of Waverley. Well, Bruce, these backmen of Berwick are starting to let their men run loose again as they did early in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's right, John. They're not sticking with their backmen. The Berwick backmen aren't sticking with their forwards down there. And Waverley get another goal. It'll take them on to 12-7 to Berwick 8-10. Just the Berwick runner is taking Brown off the ground now, and McGreal is coming onto the ground. The Berwick Mark Harvey look-alike in McGreal. The Berwick players in the centre half forward line that time, I didn't think, were trying just quite hard enough to pick up the ball. They weren't tackling that Waverley player when he got it. They could have been two instances where they grabbed their player and perhaps drove him to the ground, but they cleared it away. The ball's been bounced in the centre, and Dillon picks it up that time. Dillon gets it on his left foot. There's nobody there for Berwick, and in the league he takes the mark and he plays on and he's caught. McGreal comes straight onto the ground and picks up a kick on his left foot and drives it into Robert Trigg. Robert Trigg in front, you see, in front, and on his own takes a good mark, and he's going to go back and have a shot at it. We badly need a goal here, Berwick, as they're 12-7 to Berwick 8-10. Robert Trigg comes in, kicks it long. I tell you what, looks pretty good to me. The umpire's decision will be that he's more than made a goal. Right on the line, the Berwick players and the others trying to punch it through, and they've scored a goal, the Wickers, through Robbie Trigg, and Robbie Trigg has kicked 3 goals to date. 3 goals, that's Robbie Trigg's 3rd goal. And the ball comes back into the centre. Will be bounced up again by umpire Black. Berwick now 9-10-64, trailing Waverley 12-7-79. Umpire Black with the ball, comes in. Bounces it high. Rod Ward in the ruck again for the Wickers. Can't quite get the tap down. The Waverley player does. He gets it to his rover that time, who gets it on his left foot and kicks it down. A beautiful kick to the full forward position. He can't hold the mark. Nearly Rob Kelly picks it up and gets caught, but gets rid of the ball. And he's not caught while in possession and forces it over the line and out of bounds in the Waverley forward pocket. Umpire throws it in. Rod Ward in front, being held there, but the Waverley player in Williams knocks it to the ground. A pack's form, and the umpire steer. The other umpire has decided to ball it up. Barry Williams, the 100-game player for Berwick for Waverley rather in the ruck. Up they go. Wardy gets the tap down over the shoulder, and he's going to get a free kick as well. Darren Lady's on the ground as well too. I see Darren Lady's on the ground, Johnny. Wardy with a bad kick over the line and out of bounds on the full. That's the second bad kick in 2 kicks from Rod Ward. Now with the ball is number 10 for them, Phil Greene. Phil Greene, a pretty good kick too. Drives it right down the forward position. And in front was Williams, but he couldn't quite take the mark. The ball comes down to the ground. Players there clear it out through Jim McMaster, who couldn't quite hang on till he gets to his foot, trips along the ground. Here goes Jim McMaster for run onto his right foot and looking for Neville Powels. Neville Powels took his eye off the ball, took his eye completely off the ball, Powels, and they clear it away through Interleague again. Interleague doesn't kick to anybody in particular. Dillon's there for Berwick and gets it and drives it in there to Tommy Crebbin, who handballs across to Peter Allen. Peter Allen picks it up, runs round his player, shepherded well by Powers that time. Peter Allen drives it down looking for Trigg, and there's Robert Trigg again. He's pulled high around the head. The umpire hasn't seen it. Robbie Trigg. Now there's the Waverley players are down on the ground and they're clearing it. They're clearing it away again, and not much of a kick that time by the Waverley player, but it's good enough to get to number 18, who's caught round the neck. It's a free kick. The umpire hasn't seen that one either. Umpires keep up with it. They clear through Barnes. Barnes gets the ball to the Waverley player and gets it to looking for number 36 for Waverley, but Crebbin's in front, and he's held too high. The umpire saw that one, and Crebbin gets a free kick. Crebbin with the ball, kicks it to the centre. Kicks it a bit wide of Peter Allen, who's got the run of it. They shepherd. Jim McGreal handballs it across to number 15, and Gary Scott. Gary Scott, a good player, he runs round again, kicks it across there, looks for Luxford in front, who can't quite grab it. Down it comes to Gary Vear. Gary Vear scaling the packs well again, gets it across there to Darren Arthur. Darren Arthur for Waverley, kicks it in the centre half forward position. Phil Greene can't take the mark, but picks it up, and it's back to Darren Arthur. Darren Arthur for Waverley, handballs out across there to Phil Greene. There's a pack forming, and I dare say that the Berwick clear it off the ground to the Waverley player in Zoddy, Robert Zoddy. He kicks it high in the air. Johnny Kelly's underneath it. Can't take the mark, and the ball is forced over the line and out of bounds in the half-forward flank position on the Springvale Road side of the ground for Waverley.
A lot of desperate play at the moment there, just before the half-time went. Bruce, not a real good quarter for Berwick. The final scores being Waverley 12 goals 78 to Berwick 9 goals 10 64. They didn't run on hard enough in that quarter and didn't get the goals on the board.
A half-time break up in the Waverley stand. I have Matt Johnson and Shaun Johnson. First of all, Matt, before I speak to you, I'd just like to welcome Shaun back from the west. He arrived back in Berwick last night about 9 o'clock, and it's good to see you looking so fit and well, Shaun. And I hope you're here for a little while. When will you be going back, perhaps?
Well, it just depends how long I'm staying, actually. Depends on Mum and Dad's good hospitality, I suppose. If I have a brew with the old man, and next week or so I might find myself back on the track.
Righto, Shaun. The hospitality will be overwhelming. His hospitality to me has always been excellent. Matt, you're not playing today through a knee injury. Can you give us a bit of an idea how that's going, or how long you might be out?
Well, I'll probably see a doctor tomorrow night or the next night, Redder, and see how we go. But it's an old injury, and I had operation on it. I suppose you keep pumping around on it on the footy ground. Something's got to wear out sooner or later. So I'll just see how I go. It's a bit wonky at the moment. I probably could have played today, but the powers that be decided that it would be better if I rested it.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I think that I spoke to Barry during the week myself. I said I think that one thing that's got to be done is have a rest and get it right. It's only early into the season. We're just knocking on the door with a 5, and there's no doubt that Berwick are missing you today. They've up to date. I don't think they've played too bad in the last 10 minutes of that quarter. They relaxed. What are your comments on the game so far, Matt?
Oh, it's a bigger ground, Redder. I really think that we find problems with big grounds because we're used to such a small ground at Berwick. I really think on a big ground what you've got to do is to try and, when you've got the ball, fellas have got to get away and run and make space and get away from their opponents, but when the opposition takes the ball you've got to really act the opposite and pick up their players, and I don't think on a lot of occasions there's too many loose fellas running around for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that especially in the last 10 minutes of that quarter and in the early stages of the first quarter, Berwick let their men run, let the Waverley side run loose, and they're not watching their job. Once they could get out on their own themselves, the Berwick players went on. But then if there was a mistake, there's no defensive football by the Berwick players, and therefore Waverley would go on and score.
That's the real hard time to run too, when they've taken the ball off you and you think you've led to try and take the ball, and then you've got to run back and cover an opponent. That's the hard running that you've got to do, and it's probably more important than the sprinting that you have to do to try and lead for a ball.
Yeah, right. Shaun, have you been playing football or having an idea of the footy in the West?
Well, I played for the local team. I worked in the mining atmosphere and played for the local team in Parrabadoo, which is just a 6-team league sort of thing, and with an inter-town carnival between Newman and Parrabadoo Tom Price, and I played there for a couple of years. But really it's paddock football even compared with Berwick. The standard is unbelievable because we sort of get out there and have a bit of a kick around the joint and get injured pretty badly because it's like the grounds there are so hard you wouldn't believe it. It's harder than concrete, or even a bitumen up there seems hard.
Yeah, right. Would you play in stops?
No, grass sports are the go. Even in West Australia, I think you find if you see any West Australian football, you find most of the players are playing in grass sports, or that form of footwear with the rubber or moulded soles.
Yeah, right.
Not moulded stops, moulded soles.
Yeah.
A la running shoes mainly, because you find that with stops or any sort of sprig in your shoe, because the ground's so unforgiving, it'll tear your ankles, a lot of broken ankles, bad knee injuries, and broken wrists.
Yeah, right.
Because of the ground, the hardness of the ground.
Yeah, fair enough. Thanks, Shaun. This Waverley ground's a big ground, as you said, Matthew. I feel that I've said it already, and I'll say it again while you're here, just to get your opinion on it. The grass is long, isn't it? Make a difference to the legs of the players, do you think?
Yeah, I've heard it's a very boggy ground too. Redder, I've played on it once, and I found it a very good surface to play on. But someone else said that it is boggy, and maybe during the week with the rain they haven't been able to cut the grass.
Yeah, right.
The ball seems not to run on this ground. It seems to, when it hits the ground, pull up a little bit. I noticed a couple of times our players have kicked towards goal and it's bounced in the goal square, and rather than roll through, it's done a bit of a backspin and slowed down for the defender running after it, and it touched a couple of goals on the way through that way.
Good, Matt. Matt, tell me, what do you do with yourself during the week?
I'm a school teacher.
Oh, good on you. Yeah, phys ed teacher, aren't you?
Yeah, I teach phys ed.
Yeah, whereabouts?
At Marsland College.
Yeah, that's right. That's not Marsland Colours there. There's a Little League game going on here today. That's not Marsland Colours out there, Matt, is it?
No. We've got a very conservative colour scheme. No, we've got maroon and blue.
That's
we're
right,
able to fit the green in.
Yeah, fair enough. No worries at
Mars
all.
brothers are French, so.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Well, there you are. A little bit of history. Yeah, well, it's time we're getting the wind-up signal here, Matt. And thanks very, very much for coming up here at half-time. Sean, great to see you back.
Thanks,
and no doubt we'll see you throughout the rest of the football season. Yeah. And the Johnson family's nearly complete as far as the Berwick football.
Well, the Berwick team's back on the ground after the half-time interval. The umpires are out there. We're just waiting for the Waverley team to come out and start the game for this second half. Bruce, I think the Berwick boys have certainly got the job ahead of them. They lacked a little bit in that second quarter, allowed Waverley to get a little bit away from them, and they've got to put in some determined and good football into this next the first 10 minutes of this quarter.
Yeah, right, John. I couldn't agree more, especially the last 10 minutes of the second quarter. Berwick weren't sticking with their men at all around the ground, and their back line, only for Mick Shears, who's having a good day. The rest of them are not up to it at all, in my opinion. The Berwick back line have got to lift their game considerably. How was that half-time break down there, Righty? They've got some very nice rooms down there to enjoy their hospitality.
Yes, Bruce, wouldn't it be nice if we had the facilities that they have here at Berwick? Yes, they invited their committee men in for drinks and sandwiches and party pies and a half-time break there, and really did us proud.
I noticed some of the committeemen decided to go too. The regulars were there, weren't they? El Presidente and Sutton and Johnson, Norman McPhee, and of course Jack Spruitenberg, who we'll be talking to at three-quarter time. I hope Jack doesn't spend the quarter down there, John. You might have an interesting interview.
Yes, it's good to see, and it's good to see them all along here and putting in a little bit towards the Berwick situation.
A lot of Berwick supporters here today, John. This crowd's swelled a bit, and just walking around to the rooms at our rooms at half time. A lot of Berwick people here. And of course, it's not far for them to come, and it's a great ground to watch the football in, and a beautiful day. So, they're following their club today.
Yeah, the day is nice, Bruce. Yes, and as you say, it's only a 20-minute drive down the freeway and onto Springvale Road, and we're here. The police are out there in the middle, escorting the umpires to make sure that no one is critical towards them. And the Little League teams that have played, the Blues and the Greens, had a run around at half time.
I'm not too sure who the other one was, Johnny, but Notting Hill were one of the teams. I'm not too sure what the score was either, mate.
Just looking at who's going off on the interchange here, Bruce. One of them is certainly Mark Breen, and I think
Brown, isn't it?
Yes, it is Richard Brown. It's hard. He's got his head down there. Yes, it is Richard Brown. And now the the Waverley team make their way onto the ground. It won't be very long. We'll have the bounce of the ball and into the third quarter of the match. See Bob Sutton, Jack Spruitenberg and someone else down there having a very in-depth chat on the half-forward line there just behind the coach's box. Sounds like, yes, they're pulling the records out of their pockets and working out the moves that should be made. What do you think, Bruce?
Yeah, well, they were having a bit of a discussion there at the half-time break. I happened to ask two or three of them what I thought their best players were, and I didn't get a great deal of comments. Norm McPhee made a couple, and I don't think he was far wrong, really. Mick Shears had played a good game up to date. Rod Ward was getting beaten in the ruck. Tommy Crebbin had been playing well. Peter Allen trying very, very hard. A great captain coach's game today so far. But Sutto and Spruitenberg are down there, John, and a lot of arm waving going on. There'll be some directions. And Sutto's never short of a word in giving directions, is he?
No, he's pretty good in that department. Anyway, let's hope that the coach Peter Allen's got some good directions and got the message across to the Berwick team before they start this third quarter. Just waiting on the siren and the umpires to bounce the ball. Most of the players have run into position. Can you pick up any changes there, Bruce? Steve Johnson still at full back. Luke Masters.
I think they're all pretty well much the same as they were. The only thing is, I don't know, Ward's Jim McGreal. John McGreal, isn't it?
Yeah, John McGreal.
Yeah, it looks to me as though he could be at centre half forward.
I thought Neville Powers appears to be there, but yeah, possibly playing on a half-forward flank. But anyway, the ball's bounced, and it's Ray Crook with the kick on the half-back flank for Berwick, but he's looking for Luxford. Luxford couldn't get the ball. It's a scramble out there, but Peter Allen moves in beautifully, uses his body, gets it out to McGreal. McGreal's balked, gets his time, yes, gets his kick, kicks it straight down the centre, looking for Trigg. That's it. Trigg goes for the mark, but he can't get in. It's forced out of bounds in the forward pocket for Berwick. Notice Darren Lady's in the forward pocket. Looks like he might be roving, Bruce.
Yeah, right, John. I think Darren Lady is roving. Luxford went for the knocks down that time. John McGreal picks up the ball, handballs to Neville Powels. Neville Powels turns on his right foot, kicks it down there looking for Trigg again. Oh, a great mark. He's got up amongst the two of them. The umpire hasn't paid it or blown his whistle. And Crebbin took it off the pack and snapped it through for a point. Tommy Crebbin with a point and makes Berwick 9 goals 11 now. Waverley 12-7-79. I thought that was a mark too, Triggy, John.
I certainly would have paid. It was a great mark. On whether he played on and handballed it too, Tom, was pretty hard to say.
Well, we'll have to watch it on the slow-mo, eh?
Well, yes, we'll have a look at the pub tonight and watch it on the slow-mo. Anyway, Peter Allen's marked the ball from the kick-off from Waverley. Puts it straight back down there, and look, they're all flying again. There's no one there on the ground for Berwick, and Waverley break away with it. He has three bounces. Heading out for the wing position. Everybody sets themselves. Oh, they had a go at Robbie Ward then. I think he might come off second best if he tries that too often. Anyway, the ball's out of bounds on the wing position, right down in front of our commentary position here, and it's to be thrown in. Ward going for the knock for Berwick. He can't get it. He picks the ball up, pushes out to Venville. Nearly a throw. Yeah, but Venville gets clear on that wing, takes a left-footed kick, looking for Robbie Trigg, but there's no one there, and again, it's Vear, Gary Vear of Waverley, who got away with the ball. Changes the direction of play across the other side of the ground, and the Waverley players there's 2 or 3 of them, and it's a scramble, but no one can pick it up. Finally picked up by Crook. He finds Neville Powers. He's got Dillon running on the side, and Dillon's got chance to steady. Kicks it very high and very wide, and I think it might be out on the full. Yes, I think he has played it out on the full.
Yeah, it's out in the full that time from kick from Dillon. He could have had the time to steady. Waverley go on with it now and send it down into there, and nobody can take the mark for Waverley. The ball's punched away. The Waverley player there nearly got pushed in the back. There's a former pack, and Berry cleared out from there. It goes on the left foot now, and it's been driven in. I'll tell you what, it's a goal. It's a good goal. Goal from Dillon, I think it was, John. See him running back into the centre of the play there. Mick Dillon made amends that time.
Mick Dillon's 4th goal.
Mick Dillon kicked 4, has he? Or was that Crebbin's? I'm sorry, but I just can't pick the player up. There's been somebody in front of him or around. We'll wait till he turns around. He got his socks down, the boy that kicked the goal in the centre of the ground. Tommy Crebbin it was. My apologies to you, Tom, but anyway, it was a good goal. Big move on to 10-11-71. Waverley 12-7-79. Up she goes in the centre again. Wally can't get the knockdown. He's getting beaten the ruck again by Williams. Venville picks it up and gets on left foot and drives it down there to centre half forward position. Out it goes now to Dillon, who gets grab while not possession. McGreal picks it up and drives it in, and I'll tell you what, he's looked for it, but it's a little bit off target, and it's gone through for one behind. Could have been a goal there. Greel that time lined them up, but unfortunately the ball swung away at the last minute and went through for one behind. Berwick 10-12-72, trailing Waverley 12-7-79. Now the fullback from Waverley with the ball is number 12, Robert Soddy, and he gets it out there, kicks it to the centre half forward, come across the Waverley player, stood there, not on the move, couldn't take the mark. Captain coach of Waverley, Barnes, gets it out across to the half forward flank where the pack's forming, and they clear it out. Barnes is back in there again. Barnes on his left foot drives it round towards the boundary line, and I think the ball will beat them and roll over the line just in front of Peter Allen, in front of the Mitsubishi sign on the Springvale side of the ground. Boundary umpire with the ball now, throws it in. Ward and Williams. I get the tap down to Waverley again. Waverley at the back of the pack. It's a good mark that time. Gary Scott. Gary Scott, a good player for the Wickers, 2-8. Lyons goes back to take his kick. Gary Scott on the wing position, lines them up, sends it down there too, and nobody can take the mark, goes over the back of the pack again. Luxford out of the pack, head to Powels. Powels handballs back across looking for Venville, he can't pick it up. Waverley in the clear again, they're chasing for it now, being hotly pursued there by Crebbin and Venville. Venville gets it, breaks through, picks it up, handballs across there, shocking handball, went for down lady, and the Waverley player's held by the leg, and he gets a free kick. Number 23 for Waverley in Graham Joyce. Graham Joyce to the centre of the ground now. Well, another Waverley player is on his own. Handballs across, and Waverley are well into attack again. Here they go. But it's a low pass that time. Should have put it up in the high where Gary Scott again takes the mark for Berwick at the centre half back position. Gary Scott with the ball. Gets it onto his right boot. Kicks in and they're looking for Peter Allen. But Vear comes across the top of him and spoils him. Ball goes over the back. Waverley pick it up through Sam Interleague. Sam Interleague, high kick in the air. There's only two of them there. A Berwick player and Waverley, but the ball comes to the ground and there's Callery picks it up. He tries to get a handball. It's intercepted by number 6 in Greg Newbold. Greg Newbold still trying to get the ball out, and the pack's fallen to the umpire, says I'll ball it up.
He's going to ball it up on the half-back flank there on the far side of the ground. He's going for the knockout. Ward, he can't get it. It's taken out of the pack by the Waverley player. It's kicked into a pack of players. Here's a chance for Lady. Lady gets out to McMaster. McMaster spins out of a pack, fans Dillon. Handballs onto Allen. Allen in the centre's got time to look for somebody. He's got a lead out here from Powels. Powels can't take it, but Trigg comes in. Powels gets the break, but he can't run fast enough, and the Waverley player runs past him and takes the ball away and gets it out of bounds on the full. Powels was in front. The Waverley player was able at that stage to come from behind him, run past him, pick the ball up and clear it out on to for a throw in on the forward pocket. The umpire throws the ball in. Who's going for it? Luxford. He can't get the knock. It's a Waverley knock. There's 4 or 5 players throw themselves in on the ball, and umpire Black says, I'll have it, and he's going to bounce it again.
Right, there's a ball up on the half-forward position for the Berwick forward line. Luxford goes high, taps it out to Powels. Powels taps it across to McGreal. McGreal can't hold it, gets on his chest, can't take it. Waverley clear again. Here's Peter Allen on his own, takes mark. He's paid the mark to Peter Allen, and Peter said we'll take it across the centre there and kicked it to Neville Powels. Neville Powels dead in front now, about 50 metres, I suppose, John, from the goal line in front. Neville Powels with the ball. What's Powels like as a kick, John?
Pretty good. He's one of the better kicks of the Berwick team. Him and Ward, although Ward's been having a shocking day kicking today, but Powels is usually pretty accurate.
Right, Powels with the ball now, leans over it well, comes in. In it goes, a beautiful drop punt kick, nobody's moved, not a player or an umpire moved, and it's a goal to the Wickers, takes them on to 11 goals, 12. Trailing Waverley, 12-7. By 1 point, 12-7-79 Waverley, Berwick 11-12-78, and only a point separates them at about the 15-minute mark in the third quarter. Ball's back in the centre. Umpire Black with the ball now. In he comes, bounces it up. Ward in the ruck. Up he goes high, but Williams gets the knock down again. The Waverley taps it on to number 13. They clear it well out of the centre. Geoff Wenbourne it was. Wenbourne kicks it down there. They're all trying desperately to get it. Not much talk there, but Kelly picks it up and clears it again. He's always safe down there. Nearly a good mark to Waverley, but the umpire, he couldn't hang on to it long enough and hasn't paid it. Allen handballs out to Dillon. Dillon gets it across to Jim McMaster, who turns looking for somebody. Here's another handball, a wild handball that time from Master. Puts Lady under pressure. In goes Ward to Shepherd. Lady can't pick the ball up. Waverley get a short across there to number 4 in Barry Williams. Down they come now. Here's Barnes, the captain coach, who handballs it across there to his player, and it's put number 6 in position. He's just run away. Number 6, Greg Newbold. Greg Newbold gets a goal for Waverley as he stretched away from the Berwick player in Steve Johnson. Just ran away from him. Waverley move on to 13-7. 85 to Berwick 11-12-78.
Yes, that was poor play by the Berwick back line. Then they had 2 or 3 chances to clear it, but they just didn't seem to be desperate enough. They didn't really want it. Anyway, it's back in the centre here with umpire Steer. Umpire Steer to bounce the ball in the centre. Ward again, the Berwick ruckman. Ward seems to have been rucking for most of the day. Can't get a big knock from the Waverley ruckman there. And it's kick off the ground right down the centre. Callery's in front. He's going for the boundary line and yes, gets it over and out of bounds on the half-back flank. There'll be a throw in down here. Ward moving down to Berwick, and the big Waverley ruckman, I can't pick him out at the moment. Bruce, I can't see his name. And again, Darren Arthur got the ball out of the pack, had a kick for goal, but he went off the side of his boot and it's gone out of bounds on the 4. Steve Johnson down there's got the free kick. Short one looking for Mickey Dillon. Dillon fumbles with the ball in there, but I don't know what's happened. Umpire, he's paid that. He was very lucky to get that. Anyway, Dillon there finds Peter Allen in the centre. He gets a push in the back, but he goes on. Looking out there for a lead from Tommy Crebbin. Crebbin goes, but he's can't hold the ball. It's gone over and it's gone loose, and Waverley get loose. McShears tried desperately, but he can't get the ball. Number 5, there's Williams. Williams, he drops the ball. Lady can't pick it up. There's a scramble. It's Murray, Dave Murray, but of Waverley had the ball, but it's another scramble out here. Picked up, no, it's not picked up by McMaster. He sort of didn't really get a hold of it. It's gradually, last it's picked up and kicked by Graham Joyce. Over into the centre, no one takes the mark. The ball hits the ground and there's another scramble of players. I think the umpire will ball this one up too, Bruce.
Umpires decided to ball it up at the centre half forward position for Waverley, right in front of the Waverley goal. Righto, now umpire balls it up. There it is. Rod Ward tries hard to get it, taps it down towards Venville, who can't pick it up, but Shears has. He gets it across to Dillon. Dillon copped one right in the face. The umpire has seen it, and Mick Dillon will get the free kick. Umpire right on the spot. Dillon with a long kick. Good drop punt kick down there, looking for Luxford. Luxford can't take the mark, down to McGreal. McGreal can't pick the ball up. I don't know what these Berwick players are doing, but they just can't seem to get that ball to bounce into the hand. Gary Scott with the ball now. Turns onto his left foot and drives it in towards 2 of them. And Luxford doesn't hang onto it, ducked his head, and there's a fight over the other, so it's on the Gary Scott. It's on the bottom of the pack. The umpire is trying to separate them as the ball goes out across towards the half-forward flank for Waverley, but it's still in play and kicked along there. The Blues been broken up, and let's get on with the game. Waverley in possession of the ball now, but a pack's formed, and they've decided that the umpire will give a free kick to John McGreal. From here I couldn't see what it was for. The Waverley players argue with the umpire, and he's got a 15-metre penalty. John McGreal kicks it down long, looking for Robert Trigg again. Up they go again, all missed for it, and goes over the back of the pack. There's Gary Vear, reads the play well all the time, and the Waverley player there on his own trying to get it out is number 45 and Robert Shade. He gets it out across to Peter Allen. Peter Allen on his own, handballs to McGreal. McGreal comes in and drives onto his left foot, heads it in towards the goal. There's no one there for Berwick, and the Waverley player can't take the mark in Italy, but he picks it up and drives it out there, and there's Ward, who gets one in the side as well, and but he's taken a safe mark for Berwick. A pretty good kick, Wardy. Missed a couple of kicks to date so far, but he goes back. Usually a very good kick, and would be a chance to score here, John, wouldn't there?
Yes, if he kicks as he normally can, probably the best kick in the Berwick side. But he's missed this one again, Bruce. I'm afraid he's got the distance okay, but certainly not the accuracy. Takes the score on now to Waverley, 13 goals 7 to Berwick, 11 goals 13. It's kicked out on the far side. No one Berwick goes up. Trigg stayed down. He was the only one in the pack, but there was no one from the Berwick team that made any attempt. Williams has tried twice to run off with this ball, but he can't do so. Oh, it's a poor handball from Williams for Lady, and it's another poor handball from Lady. And here Vear gets loose. He's caught, but I think he might be pushing the back against Darren Lady, or no, against John McGreal it was. I've seen some very poor play here by the Berwick players in this part of the latter part of this quarter. They just don't seem to be able to handle the ball, or they're hesitating, they're not getting in front. Anyway, it's a mark on the half-forward flank to Waverley. Gary Scott on the mark. It's quite a good kick right down the centre, looking for the full forward. He can't hold the ball, carries on top. He's up. It's a handball out of the pack, and there's Wenbourne on his own, kicks the goal, and puts Waverley further ahead.
Well, there you are. They're reading the play well. They're staying back out of the behind the packs. They're waiting for that ball to come down each time, the Waverley players, and they're scoring goals from it. The Michael Roberts has kicked 5 goals for Waverley to date, and Greg Newbold 3, and Gary Vear's kicked 1. And we go on now. Waverley 14-7-91 to Berwick 11-13-79. Ball's back in the centre with umpire Steer. Umpire Steer comes in, balls it up. Up they go. The Waverley player gets a knockdown in Barnes to Williams. Williams gets it across there to his teammate. He gets it back to Williams at Pax form, but Williams picks it up and handballs it to number 36 in Darren Arthur. Darren Arthur lines it down there, and it's a good mark taken by number 2 for Waverley in Michael Roberts. Michael Roberts been a good player for the Waverley side. It's been a good kick up to date, Michael Roberts. He has the ball, and he'll come in. In he comes. It's offline. It's now the ball still in play, and it's nearly forced over the line, but Waverley are in possession of it again. They try to handball out there. Kevin Venville intercepts beautifully, gets it onto his left foot and kicks it round. There's nobody home for either side. In comes a Waverley player, number 18. Number 18 picks it up and kicks it across there to centre half forward position, and Waverley bumped Jim McMaster. Bumped him when not in possession of the ball, and McMaster will get the free kick. McMaster now on brings it down, a right foot kick, looking for Darren Lady, who's pushed in the back. Robbie Trigg well up the ground, has taken the mark. Getting balls back to Peter Allen. Peter Allen screws it across there, looking for Dillon. Dillon can't take it, and there's Inderleagy. He handballs back to the captain coach in Barnes, and it's another handball there to the Waverley player, number 12, and Waverley in possession of it. They're on their own, and here once again is Darren Arthur. Darren Arthur for Waverley gets it out across towards the forward pocket position, but Berwick intercept there, and bad play by the Wickets again as they handball into the Waverley player, but Calry's home for them. Johnny Calry picks the ball up onto his left foot and short little chip shot into to Peter Allen, who handballs to Crebbin, back across to McGreal. Berwick into attack again now, looking for Dillon. Dillon can't take the mark. The ball goes over the back. He's in front now. Renset recovered quickly, and he has to get the free kick. Held when not in possession.
No
Dillon.
one to kick to. No one at all making a lead.
Nobody's making a lead out there.
Ward does.
Ward makes his lead, but the Waverley player comes in front of him and takes a good strong mark. Peter Castillo. Peter Castillo kicks it across there, looking for his teammate in Kinnenberg. Kinnenberg with the ball now. Marks it safely, kicks it down there, looking for the centre half forward position. And McMaster in front, he couldn't hold it. Out it comes Waverley in attack again, and through their number 4 in Tony Allen. Tony Allen gets a handball across there to his other teammate. He handballs it back to Darren Arthur again. Darren Arthur on his left foot, snaps and goes through for 1 point.
Yes, they seem to be getting that loose ball going, Bruce, and moving the ball very quickly down the ground. Kick out from the half-back flank, looking for Peter Allen. He's had a lot of kicks. He's probably been Berwick's best player so far today. He looks for a loose man in Tommy Crebbin, and he made a desperate effort to get that. It was a good pass and a great effort by Tommy Crebbin. He's got 15 yards. Looking for someone to give the ball to. He couldn't find anybody. Allen's come across. He's given it back to Crebbin. Crebbin finally gets his kick in, but it's not a very good one, and it's going to go out of bounds, I think. No, not quite. That's that fellow again, no, Vear. But did go, just beat him out of bounds on that half-forward flank for Berwick. Ward in the ruck. Ward. Gets the knock this time. Comes out loose. I think it was Crebbin that tried to get the ball. He couldn't hold it, and he's been caught with the ball. Oh, it's on. A couple of fellows in there out. He gets thrown out of the pack by is it number 12, I think, of the Waverley team. Anyway, they get the free kick, and on his own in the centre. No, he's not coming across. There's Neville Powels coming across and took a nice mark. Looking for someone out there, but there's no one giving a lead. Oh, Trigg was tripped, but he still didn't get the ball. They finally gave the free kick away to the Waverley player when he was pushed in the back. There has been a lot of pushing and shoving, and these umpires are not quite up with the game. And this fella's caught. He took the handball. He's given him a free kick against Trigg, and they play on again. Waverley moving out on the half-back flank, looking for their wingman. There's only taken over the top by Scott. Scott couldn't handle the ball. It's come loose to a Waverley player again. Tommy Crebbin couldn't get it. Coming through the pack was Luxford. He couldn't handle the ball. McMaster's over the top of it, and this time he'll get the free kick for Berwick. pushing the back in the centre position. No leads coming again up forward. Kicks it high, leaves it for the high flyers. Up they go, and it's a Waverley mark. Can't pick out the player. It's number 14, Costello again. He's taken a lot of high marks, Bruce. Out to the wing position. No, and it's a good mark for Berwick this time. Taken out there by Scott. Allen out there directing play for Berwick, telling him what to do. Scott takes his kick on the half-back flank, looking for Trigg. Trigg goes up, he's under the ball, so is the other Waverley defender, but it comes to the ground and Gary Vear chases it off, but unfortunately for him it goes out of bounds. Be throw in on the half-forward flank, in the Berwick forward line. Ward again in the ruck. Ball's thrown in. It's another beautiful knock for Waverley. In the back, and Waverley's captain coach gets the ball away. Down the wing, handballs across. Caught. And the Berwick players get away. That Peter Allen certainly has to get a push in the back there, Bruce.
Peter Allen with the ball again now after pushing the back. Still not much between these two sides, although Waverley are just probably getting clear a little bit better than the Berwick players. Berwick have had most of the play in this last few minutes of this quarter. Mick Dillon with the ball now, nearly gets a push in the back. Lady tries to get it out and can't do so. And a pack's forward and the umpire says it will ball it up. Balling up right in about the centre half forward position for Berwick. In comes Ward. He's on, he gets a good tap down, but there's nobody there to intercept that. But the Waverley players first on the position and can't pick it up. Powels hits it along the ground towards Lady. Lady taps it on towards Dillon. Dillon comes in onto his right foot that time and snaps kicks it over the line and out of bounds on the full. I thought from where we were here, Johnny nearly knocked it through for a point, but it's over the line and out of bounds on the full. And Gary Vear being a good player for the Waverley side to take the kick. Gary Vear with it now, gives the lead with, and it looked to me as though it was nearly out of bounds on the full, but in the league he has the ball now, number 1 for Waverley. McGreal on his mark. Into League, comes in, kicks it high in the air. Up goes Williams, he can't take it for Waverley. Down the back it comes, the Waverley player picks up handballs across, and Waverley into attack again. Through number 38 for them in Scott Cargill. Scott Cargill kicks it down there to number 44 for them, who gets it across, and it's not a good shot by him, and the ball nearly bounced through to be a goal. Number 44 was the Waverley player in Pallotta, Dom Pallotta. I suppose Dom would stand for Dominic. And it's a point. Waverley, 14 goals, 9 points, 93. Leading Berwick, 11-13, 79. Kick in this time, Peter Allen takes a good mark for the Wickers and drives it back in the centre. Here's Mick Shears, been a bit quieter this quarter, but takes a good mark and kicks it down to centre half forward position. Greal from underneath it, and Gary Vear touches the ball and gets the mark. Had the second grab at it and took the mark. He gets it across, not gaining much Waverley by that one. They kicked it sideways instead of forward down the ground. Number 23 for them in Graham Joyce. Graham Joyce kicks down now. The Berwick players are on the ground, and Darren Williams handballs to nobody, but number 18 for the Waverley comes in and picks it up. Off the ground again, it's back to number 18. For Waverley, gets it across there to another Waverley player on his own in number 44, Dom Pallotta. Dominic Pallotta with the ball, pulls his socks up. He's doing a Paul Salmon. Dominic Pallotta with the ball now, comes in, lines them up. High kick won't make the distance. Up they go, and it's through for 1 point. 14-10 now, 94. Leading Berwick, 11-13, 79. Over to you again, Johnny.
Yes, Berwick certainly has to get a bit of a move on in this quarter, where it's getting late into the quarter, and Venville's got it on the half-forward flank, or the half-back flank for Berwick. Wobbly old kick. It should go out of bounds. Yes, it has. There were three Waverley players there, and only the one Berwick player, so perhaps it might have been a bit lucky on the Berwick part. It was a poor kick from Venville. Boundary umpire to throw the ball in.
Showing a bit of age, that boundary umpire.
Yes, he's lost a little bit of his hair. Ward in the ruck, tries to take it out of the ruck, can't get it, uses brute strength and gets it through. Out to Dillon. Dillon can't hold it, but here's Crebbin's coming across. He's tackled, still gets his foot to the ball, but it's a Waverley player in front again. And away they go down that far wing, looking for Dom. Out on that wing, he still gets away with the ball. The captain, Coach Barnes, picks it up. Oh, gets a beautiful handball across and to the Waverley player. He can't get on. Johnson drops an easy header and away he goes to pick the ball up and kick a very goal. That ball bounced in the Berwick goal square. Johnson had a chance to clear it, but couldn't get the ball, and the Waverley player ran in and kicked a very easy goal.
Going to be a change here too, John. I see the Berwick runner in Cliff Donegan. Steve Johnson, I'd say, he's moving out to him, and Brown for Berwick. Richard Brown. As the interchange player, and Waverley are making a change as well. Up the ball goes in the centre again. Another good tap down from Williams of Waverley, but McGreal intercepts. He handballs across to Peter Allen, who's got to be shepherded. Peter Allen gets his boot to it and kicks it right in there, looking for Venville. He couldn't get in front, and down the ball picked up there by Powels, who once again I think had an easy shot. Myself, John, I don't know, I don't want to be critical of these boys, but he had the time to steady and could have just chipped it through there instead of taking a wild kick at it and hoping it'd go through. Berwick a point, 11-14-80, trailing Waverley 15-10-100.
In the back to McGreal.
Back we go here. There's a free kick being awarded to McGreal for a push in the back, and Johnny's got to come. Umpire brings him round, says you've got to come back and kick over your man on the mark. Johnny McGreal with the ball. He looks like Mark Harvey too, doesn't he, John?
A little bit that way with that hair. It's not a bad kick.
In comes McGreal's kick. It's can't get the distance with the pack fly. Waverley take it. Get it out there towards Williams. A big ruckman for Waverley. He picks it up and handballs to Gary Vear. Gary Vear on his left foot drives it across the wing position there to Dom. Dom Pallotta with the ball now. He's caught and holding the ball, says the umpire. It'll be a free kick to Gary Scott. Gary Scott for Berwick. Good player, Scott. For Berwick today. He's got the ball there. Looking for a lead. Powels leads, but he decides to chip it in there towards the captain coaching Peter Allen. Peter Allen, the ball beats him and goes over the line and out of bounds on the half-forward flank position for Berwick.
There's boundary umpire to throw this ball in. Luxford going for the knockout this time. It's a Waverley knockout, and it's picked up again by Vear. He wanders around the pack, turns around and has his kicked it straight up in the air, and Gary Scott underneath takes the ball out of the pack, kicks towards the goals, but unfortunately out of bounds on the fall. The Berwick players seem to be under a lot of pressure when they get their kicks and don't seem to have the time to steady. Anyway, it's Vear, Gary Vear, to take the resultant free kick. Heads down that half-back flank there. There's 3 or 4 fly. The ball hits the ground. Nothing happens. It's handballed out by Scott. Back to McMaster. McMaster gets his kick, but it's going out. Oh, yes, this time there is a Berwick player there in Brett Luxford, and he's able to take the mark. He kicks across the centre looking for Tommy Crebbin. Crebbin on his own there in the centre takes the mark. He's probably too far out of goal to kick it, probably about 65, 70 metres out. They're looking for a lead. There are a couple of leads. There's a lead from Trigg. Kicks it to Trigg, but it's punched away by the defence of Waverley. Oh, and a great tackle there from Venville. Gets the ball, takes a kick for goal, but he's a shocking kick too, out of bounds on the full.
On that, he had time again. The player that he ran into was still on the ground. He hasn't got up. Venville's had the time, didn't line him up and kicked it in there. It's gone out of bounds on the full. Now Waverley, Wenbourne's got the ball after that free kick. Wenbourne with the ball. Kicks it out across the wing position for Waverley. It's 2 Waverley players and 1 wicker. There's Phil Greene picked it up. Couldn't quite clear it though. Smothered well against the three-quarter time. The score's at three-quarter time. 15-10, 100 points. Waverley leading Berwick. 11-14-80 as the Waverley crowd give us a little bit of a cheer and cover up this commentary.
They've got a 4-goal deficit and kicking, I guess, against the scoring direction of the ground. Most of the goals have been scored up that top end, Bruce, and we're kicking down the bottom end for the final quarter, so it's certainly going to be a hard job.
My comments, I thought just that Berwick It'll be interesting to watch this video again, but I think Berwick have had a lot of the play myself, and they haven't capitalised on the opportunities that they've had. Their players, when they get the ball, they're not making position for them to kick it to. They're just kicking wildly. 2 or 3 shots there have been just wild snapshots or kick shots. And I don't think that Berwick have capitalised well. I think you'll find that when Waverley got the ball, their players were out on their own and they were to get a goal fairly easily, where Berwick have struggled. I believe that you're going to interview Jack Spruitenberg. I see him coming towards the grandstand, John. So I'll leave it over to you now to speak to Jack.
Thanks, Bruce. Well, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jack Spruitenberg, who is or has been a long-time Berwick supporter and a very good one at that. Also has sponsored the Berwick Football Club in many ways over quite a period of years. Jack, what's your opinion of the game today?
Well, I suppose we miss our Matthew Johnson and Tivendale at the back line. We're losing a few goals there, and apart from that, I think they're not playing too bad at all.
Yes, it appears that the drive from that half-back line that we've had earlier in the season hasn't been there, and these 2 players obviously make quite a difference. Jack, our move to the VFA, this is our second year. You, as a supporter, have been right behind us. How do you feel that what kind of progress we're making?
Oh, I think we've made a lot of progress since, this is tremendous progress this year. A few, better players, and I think we've made a lot of progress.
Thanks, Jack. A lot of our youngsters coming up with, these are the type of players I believe that we need for the future of Berwick. It's certainly good to see Brett Luxford out there as a young player, Mark Breen out there, a young player, and we certainly have some, as Mark Fletcher said to us last week on our interview, we've got a lot of young fellas coming up from the under-16s. But Jack, you've been with Berwick for quite a period of time. What are your comments as far as players of today are concerned?
Well, you mean the young players coming up? I think this is got to be it, isn't it? We've got to get the young players to come up to into the seniors.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult when you haven't got junior teams. Possibly Waverley and some of the other teams who don't have an underage team, whereas Berwick has. This could prove quite an advantage to Berwick in the future years.
Yeah, of course it could. Yeah, I thought we had a lot of young players.
Yeah, we at Berwick have got we've got teams playing in under 10, under 11, under 12, under 13, under 14, under 15, under 16 competitions, and surely we, as the future goes in VFA, we've got these kids coming through, and they've got to be great value to us, Jack.
Yeah, well, it should be our own, shouldn't it?
Well, there goes the siren to start the final quarter. It's going to be a hard job for Berwick from now on, Jack.
Oh no, 4 quick goals and we're laughing. We're in.
Well, thanks very much for coming up here at 3/4 time, Jack. We certainly, on behalf of the football club, we appreciate your sponsorship and we appreciate your help over the year, and we just look forward to having more and more of it as the years to come.
Thanks very much, John.
Right, now while Johnny Wright was interviewing Jack Spruitenberg at the 3/4 time break, I went down to the Berwick side on the ground, and Peter Allen gave his players a decent talking to and said that they weren't running, they weren't minding their men. I think the problem being that that these big grounds find the Berwick side out. They're used to playing on that smaller over at Berwick, and these big grounds are finding the fitness out of the Berwick players. Anyway, we start the last quarter with Waverley on 15-10-100 to Berwick 11-14-80. Ball's bounced up in the centre again. Down it goes this time. Comes out there to the wing position in front of Mick Shears. He can't pick it up. Phil Greene does for Waverley and kicks it down towards their full forward position again. Waverley into attack, and the ball goes over the line and out of bounds in Waverley's half forward flank position. Umpire throws it in. Ward in the ruck. Rucked all day for Berwick.
And he picks it up and handballs across there to Kevin Benville. Kevin Benville kicks it high in the air to the centre of the ground, looking for McGreal, who's backwards to the ball, looking over his head. He can't take the mark. It's picked up by Waverley's Geoff Wenbourne, number 13, who gets it across there to his teammate, who gets it on his right foot and kicks it into the centre half forward position. Nobody can take the mark. Down the ground it comes. Mick Shears. It's held when not in possession, but can't get the kick, and a pack's form. The umpire says, I'll ball it up. Umpire with the ball now, umpire Black. There with the ball. Berwick centre half forward position. Bounces up it goes. A bad bounce. Ward gets the tap down to, nobody can rove to it. Johnny Calorie down there on the forward line. It's on the centre half back position for Berwick. The umpire with the ball. Comes in again. Up it goes. Wardy taps it across. Waverley turn round, try to get it towards their goals. Kevin Benville picks it up again. He turns, he handballs in to Tommy Crebbin. Tommy Crebbin can't quite pick it up, and once again the ball's smothered there, and the players form a pack, and the umpire says, I'll ball it up. On Waverley's half forward line. Umpire comes in, up it goes. Ward gets another tap down to Benville at the side back, John Calorie rather, at the side of the pack. In it comes across there now, but Waverley take a strong mark in number 18, Kinnenberg. Robert Kinnenberg with the ball, gets onto his right foot, gets it across there to Gary Vear. Gary Vear with the ball. Number 42, been a great player for Waverley today. Chip shots in to centre half forward position in Dom Pello with the ball. Dom Pallotta for Waverley. Pretty well unattended again. Leans over the ball, comes in to kick it now. Dom Pallotta. It's a big kick. Moves much, and it's another goal. Waverley move on to 16 goals, 10, 106. Leading Berwick 11, 14, 80. Berwick needed this win today to get up into the 4. Only 20 points down at 3/4 time, and they've let Waverley get a goal there, and making their task very, very hard on this big Waverley ground. Umpire back in the centre of the ground. Has the ball, and he comes. Up it goes. Williams for Waverley gets a tap down to his captain coach, Barnes, who can't quite get it. Comes to Pallotta again. Pallotta's come into this game again. Kicks it there, good kick. Goes over the back of the players, and Waverley trying desperately to get it in number 11, Zachariah. Bird Zachariah. He turns. The captain coach Barnes received that and kicked another goal. Waverley go further ahead, unfortunately, but anyway, 17-10. 112, leading Berwick 11, 14, 80. Up it goes again in the centre of the ground. Rod Ward taps it down there, and they can't still get it away out of the centre. Peter Allen, a great try all day for the Wickers, probably their best player. Tries hard. The umpire says we'll have it back here and ball it up. Umpire comes in, up it goes again. Rod Ward can't get the tap down, Williams does, and it goes to Mick Shears. Mick Shears handballs to a Waverley player, and once again there's another Waverley player on his own in number 45, Robert Shade. Robert Shade handballs across to Barnes. Barnes gets off the ground, back to Shade. Shade gets sandwiched, but the ball goes down. Here's another Waverley player, picks it up, he tried to handball. Had the time, you see, he hesitated, had the time to work it out that he could kick a goal. And number 36 for Waverley is Darren Arthur. Darren Arthur, he's kicked 4 goals, John, has he? 3. Darren Arthur, that's his 3rd goal. And Waverley, excuse me, going right on with his job. 8-10, 118, leading Berwick 11, 14, 80. They've kicked 3 goals in a matter of minutes.
Yes, this is the quarter that counts, and the first part of the quarter that puts the first team that gets the goals early in the quarter have a tremendous advantage, and Waverley has come out really desperate. And the Berwick players just don't seem to be able to get into the game. Ball's bounced in the centre. Ward showing a bit of desperation this time, forces his way through, gets it across to Shears. Shears gets his kick. Looking down there for Luxford, but Vear, yes, Vear again intercepts the half-back flank, looking for his half-forward flanker in Michael Roberts. It's got the kick, kicks it into the centre. There's no one home. The ball hits the ground, and I think it's gone out for a throw-in. Goal umpire, and yes, hit the point post, and the goal umpire is signaling a boundary throw-in. Right in the back pocket here for the Berwick team. Who gets it? Powels goes up in the ruck. He can't get it. There's a scramble of play. There's players falling over each other, and the umpires decide, well, I'll take this, and away we'll go. I'll have the bounce. Oh, he bounces. It's a poor bounce, and it bounces directly to a Waverley player. But he's tackled and scrambled players, and again, a bounce almost in the same position. Wardy gets the knockout. Cowrie gets his boot to the ball. Left footer out towards the boundary line. Mick Shears is first to the ball. Picks it up beautifully one-handed. Gets the kick across. Looking for Tommy Crebbin. He can't get the ball. It's come loose onto the halfback, and it's gone out of bounds right underneath the scoreboard on the wing position. Looks like there'll be another change for Berwick. Mark Breen on the boundary line warming up. He's going to bring runner Cliffy Donegan's out there looking for someone to come off. The ball's broken loose, and it's Waverley out there again, and this play's played in front of Curry all day. Unfortunately, Curry just hasn't been able to get with him. And it's Steve Barnes, away goes, kicks across the goal, looking for someone in a better position. 39, he's caught, but the umpire allows him to play on, pushes it clear to Vear. Vear had all the time in the world, straightens up, and it's another goal to Waverley. These fellas are running. It's John McGreal they're bringing off and putting Mark Breen back on again. But these Waverley guys have got all the time in the world. The Berwick blokes, I think, might have gone home.
Yes, so once again, John, they're not with their man. They're looking for their own individual play. They're hoping that the ball will come to them rather than go and get it. They're not minding their men up there, and they're giving these Waverley players a heap of time, and they're just deciding to do and pleasing themselves. Up the ball's bounced in the centre again. Waverley get the tap down. That Williams has played an enormous game for his 100th game in the centre of the ground, John. Out it comes to Vear off the pack, and Vear roves well again. Nice little pass. Oh, Barnes tried to mark it, couldn't it? And Peter Allen picked it up and gets it across there to Luxford. Looking for Powels. Powels can't hold the ball, hold the mark again, half-heartedly. It goes across there to the Mark Harvey number 38 for Waverley. Gets it in the centre, a pack's formed, and in comes Mick Shears. He can't pick it up, the pack's still there. Here, the Waverley player picks it up, handballs out across to Robert Shade. Robert Shade drives it down there, and a great mark. A really good mark that time by Michael Roberts. One of Waverley's better players also today. Kicking 5 goals so far. Mike Roberts with the ball. Stands back. Tall player, Mike Roberts. Comes in. Kicks it. And it's gone through for a goal. Another goal to Waverley. Waverley going right away with this game in this quarter. They move on to 20 goals, 10. Leading Berwick 11-14. And the special effort number today, John, was pink ticket D number 94. So give us something to talk about now that the Waverley have gone on with this job.
Certainly wasn't my winning ticket, Bruce, either.
No, I didn't even get one anyway. That's the way it goes, but still. Ball's bounced in the centre. Up it goes again. Waverley having all the play in this quarter. But Dillon decides to clear it away from the centre, looking for Trigg. No, it's to Neville Powels, I'm sorry. Powels takes the mark. He's about 48 metres out from the goal on a slight angle. Powels, the Breen, a pretty good kick up to date, comes in. Has 2 or 3 lunatics in the stand here making a lot of noise. In comes Powell, has a good kick at it, and it goes through for a goal. It's a score for Berwick. Berwick's first score for this quarter. Takes them on to 12 goals, 14. 86, trailing Waverley, 12-10, 130 points.
2010, Bruce.
No, 2010 rather. What did I say?
12-10.
12-10, sorry. 2010, 130. 12-14, 86. And Waverley to make another change. You see they got the ball out of the centre that time, Berwick. Got it down with 2 kicks, 2 long kicks, and they scored a goal, John.
Yes, that seems to be the art of the game in VFA. If you can get that ball out of the centre and get it running, get the breakaway, and away you go. But the Ben Waverley get the ball clear, and here they go. Loose man comes running down the side, has his kick for goal, and it's got to be a free kick to Berwick, surely. Yes. They were both pushing each other, but the Berwick fellow in Richard Brown, who's now playing at full-back, takes the kick. Looking down there for Peter Allen. Mark Breen got it back to Darren Lady, but he handballs over Peter Allen's head and he goes out of bounds. Luxford in the ruck this time for Berwick. He's being held. It comes loose. Peter Allen gets clear with the ball. Takes his time, has a look across for Tommy Crebbin. Crebbin takes a great mark. Oh, tremendous mark by Tommy Crebbin. The fellow sat on him afterwards, and I think he's all right. Peter Allen pushes him away.
They're taking Gary Vear off Waverley just while
yes,
on the ground.
Taking Gary Vear off and put on Greg Newbold.
Not a bad player either, Newbold. He's done a bit.
Yes, he has. He's kicked 3 goals too, Bruce, so far. The Crebbin is badly hurt because Benville's had to take the kick.
Yeah, he's got a cramp, I think, now.
There's 3 Berwick trainers out there with him. Anyway, meanwhile, the play goes on and Berwick kick a point.
I think when Crebbins went down, the way he went down, John, I think that when Crebbins went down, he's got a cramp, and that seems to be the problem there. The trainers work on him, they'll have him right. Anyway, it's back to you.
Well, the ball's been kicked out from that point and it's out of bounds on the half-back flank. Boundary umpire to throw it in. Who's going for the ball for Bell? The Waverley fella goes right over the top. Handball's out to Wenbourne. Wenbourne gets the kick, looking for the player in the centre, but he's beaten by Shears, but Shears couldn't handle the ball, and there's 3 Waverley runners come past. And the ball goes out of bounds on the half-forward flank for Waverley. Yeah, I think they've taken Crebbin off. Whoever's in that, maybe McGreal, I believe. Yeah, McGreal just tell him to run straight on. Doesn't have to go for the interchange because I don't think Crebbin will be going back on by the look of him. It was a great mark by Crebbin, and it was just unfortunate the other fellow went right across him. I think he's done a leg by the way he's walking down here. Anyway, there's a free kick, mark, whatever you like to say, but Jim McMaster, who's got the ball at the full-back position for Berwick.
Barry Allen, one of the Waverley selectors, giving a lot of directions to the Waverley players not to bunch up. They can't do much more, John, can they really? Anyway, the play goes on out here at centre. There's a blue out there at centre half forward. 2 of them having a wrestle. The umpires haven't seen it. They're just having a bit of a wrestle between themselves, Callery and Williams. Anyway, they've sorted out themselves, and number 12 for Waverley now just picks up the ball and drives it into their scoring zone again, and it's gone through for 1 point. Number 12 in Robert Soddy. Now Richard Brown with the ball, the Berwick fullback. Here's Richard Brown looking for Darren Lady. Darren Lady can't run to the ball, Darren. Don't stand back, son. He picks it up anyway and clears. Drives it in there, long kick there. Dillon just underneath it and in the back to Dillon. Perhaps the umpire hasn't seen it. Peter Allen's going to get the free kick though. What a try, and a great player he's been for Berwick today, the captain coach. In comes Peter Allen with the ball onto his right foot. Drives it down there to the centre half forward position. Up flies 3 Berwick players and knock one of them down on the ground. Anyway, the ball comes to the ground and McGreal picks it up. He handballs across there to Robert Trigg. Robert Trigg in all sorts of trouble again. He ran into a Berwick player. He needed nobody there to help him, and he loses possession of the ball, and it's all Waverley as they clear it out across there to the half forward for their half back flank position. The handball again across to number 23. He gets it back to his teammate, who drives it down there across to number 13 in Wenbourne. Wenbourne picks up the ball, kicks it onto his right, gets onto his right foot, gets across to the centre half forward position. They beat him. Once again a pack form. It's knocked off the ground by the Waverley. Always trying Waverley. They never stop. Get it out there to Interleague, I think it is. No, Barnes. And it's touched. It's a goal. Oh, it's a goal. That'll be interesting on the replay, John. A great goal from Barnes, their captain coach. I thought it was touched myself from here, but we'll see it on replay. The goal umpire's right on the job. We're up here in the stand, and Waverley go on to 21-11, 137 to Berwick 12-15, 87. Never stop trying, Waverley. The ball hits the ground, the player hits the ground, they push out, they do this, they just never stop trying. It's always somebody running past too, isn't there? The great scouting team, they're scouting the packs and they're getting the ball out of the centre a lot easier than Berwick. The umpire black with the ball. Comes in again. Up it goes. Williams gets the knockdown again, but Peter Allen rose beautifully as he goes past. A great kick. Trigg, Powels is behind, but he picks the ball up, tries to handball badly. It's intercepted by Interleague. Interleague kicks across to the interchange. Zacharian, Bird Zacharian's on the ground, kicks it down there. Waverley talking. Now Gary Scott should have marked that one, but he does it. Pallotta gets it and kicks on. Handballs it over to Williams. He gets his boot to it with a wobbly kick, and fortunately for Berwick, he has kicked the bad one. It's gone over the line and out of bounds again. Gary Scott been a real good player for Berwick today. Probably his first mistake, John, where he missed that mark then, and two Waverley players on him. And they got it up there to Williams, who's driven it over the line and out of bounds. In it comes again. Up they go. Rod Ward. Williams gets the tap down again. They're trying to row desperately. In there's Calry. Pack's formed, and the umpire says I'll ball it up, and gives me great pleasure to hand over to Johnny Wright once more.
Yes, it's going to be bounced in the forward pocket for Waverley. Wenbourne gets up off the ground. He's copped a bit of a knock that time. Ward again for Berwick, but Callery takes it out of the pack, handballs beautifully over to Venville. Venville gives it to McMaster. He gets it across to John McGreal, but there's no one there.
For Berwick?
Yeah, no one there at all for Berwick. Zacharian gets the handball back to Zacharian. He's on the wing. He's on chased by Breen, but he's got plenty of time to take his kick, and there's no one there again for Berwick. They not going up for the ball. Anyway, McMaster fights his way through the pack, gets it through Allen. Allen's got to be the best player on the ground. He's by, he's fed by free, he's got rid of it, and he's going to be paid. It's going to be paid against him. He had no hope at all. He tried to beat three players.
You get caught when you haven't got anybody to get rid of to. There's nobody there to give the ball to, mate.
That's right. Oh, and Dillon just got put down very heavily on the forward line, and Waverley have kicked the ball right into their forward pocket.
Some of these Waverley players have got some very ethnic names, John. We've got to get our tongue around here. The Kinnenbergs, the Interleagues, the Zacharians, etc. at Castillo's, but they're playing well regardless of their breed.
Yes, they're certainly showing us a thing or two today. And Gary Scott's got caught. He's got the ball on the halfway line, trying to go too far. No one, I guess, the problem is no one to kick it to, and Phil Greene takes the resultant free kick. Right down into the forward pocket. It's punched away by the Berwick back line in Brown, and it goes over the line and out of bounds. Thrown in by the boundary umpire. There's no one there. It's kicked off the ground by Ward. Ward looking for Peter Allen. He couldn't hold the ball. It's picked up again by Greene. Greene takes another long kick towards goal. I think it might be through. Yes, it's another goal to the Panthers. Move on to 22 goals, 11 to Berwick's 12 goals, 15.
Well, John, Waverley again get another score, and they do it fairly easily. These videos that we're watching they're brought to you by Urban Video, and we'd like to thank them. Urban Video are the boys that do the videos for us, and of course they're brought to you the courtesy of the Berwick Inn through Barry Johnson. Without him, we wouldn't have the videos, and we employ Urban Video to do it for us. Righto, the ball's back in the centre of the ground. Up it goes. Rod Ward gets it this time, but he can't get away. His hands to McGreal. A pack form, and the umpire should ball it up, and he will. Berwick players showing tiredness, John, aren't they, on this big ground? That's made the difference, I think. In come up they go again. How's that Foster's taste? Anyway, wreck they go there. Williams gets it out across. Mick Shears tries to intercept it. He's held that player. We're not in possession, and Dillon for Berwick, and he gets a free kick. Kevin Venville. In they come. Poor Robbie Trigg is behind. He taps it across though to Peter Allen, who gets it out there to Crebbin's back on the ground, yes. And that was picked up that time by Breen. Breen drives it in there towards Powels, and Powels has taken the mark on his chest. Hasn't missed that one, Powels. He's in front again.
Kicked very well so far when you've had a kick.
In they come. Neville Powels with the ball on his right boot, and he gets it there. Whoa. No, it's this side of the post. It'll be a point. Berwick 12 goals, 16 now, trailing Waverley 22-11, 143 points. Waverley into league, he kicks it in, a beautiful kick to Williams, who takes a good mark. He handballs over his shoulder there to number 38 in Scott Cargill. Scott Cargill's on the ground trying to pick up the ball now, but he's been pushed over the head or in the back. That time I thought he probably sat on. He gets the free kick awarded to him. Scott Cargill with the ball, kicks it up there now, and up they fly. Number 2, Michael Roberts couldn't take the mark, and down it comes there to the Berwick player, and he gets it across there towards Brett Luxford, and you can see now John Luxford looking tired as he ran across there. Wouldn't you say their legs are worn out?
Yes, it's a big ground, a real big ground, and we were down on it earlier in the day, and it was very spongy in the centre, and it takes a lot out of your legs, but it's the same for both teams, and it's just a matter of fitness. I think it was a good tackle by Allen then on the captain coach of Waverley, and he gets the resultant free kick. Looking out there for Tommy Crebbin. Crebbin takes the mark. Looks across, looking for Powels. Neville Powels out there on the half-forward flank, and he's got the mark. He's probably about 40 to 50 metres out. Reasonably straight in front. He's got a lead there from Breen, but he's not going to take a lead. He's going to go back and have a kick. Neville Powels, he's kicked 2 goals 2 so far in the game.
Powels has he?
Yes.
Kicked 2-2.
Goes back, takes his kick. It's a long kick. The umpire doesn't move. I think it's a goal. No, yes, it is. Yes, that's through the middle for a goal for Berwick, but there wasn't much of a reception from the crowd or from anyone when that was kicked.
No, very quiet. The Berwick supporters have gone as Powell moves on to 3 goals 3. She's kicked now, and the Berwick score 13-16, trailing Waverley 22-11, 143. Cliff Donning had back out on the ground giving instructions to the back line as the umpire comes in to ball it up. Up it goes, and there's a free kick to Berwick. One of the Waverley players has crossed that centre line, and Luxford takes the kick, and underneath it is Robert Trigg. It's against Robbie Trigg, and number 12 for Waverley kicks the ball across there in the Scotty to the wing position, and the ball beats the players and goes over the line and out of bounds in front of the Springvale Road scoreboard here at the big Waverley ground. Umpire with the ball now. The boundary umpire throws it in. Luxford in the ruck, taps it down, but Waverley clear it away from that pack again through Pallotta. Pallotta's there underneath there. Gary Scott takes a good mark, and ahead of the Waverley player, Dom Pallotta. Gary Scott with the ball now. Comes across the centre, looking for Peter Allen again, but it goes over the top of his head. He's pushed out, and it's in the back against Mark Breen. A silly mistake by young Breen. Bit of inexperience there, I think, but Waverley handball. They've messed it up. No, they haven't. It's back to their number 18 who received the kick in the first place. Down it goes. Nobody can take the mark. Over the back of the pack. In comes Callery. He has the ball taken out of his hand, and Michael Roberts picks it up, and he's kicked it out of bounds. No, it's a point. It's a point looked to me to be the other side of that point post, but Richard Brown with the ball now, the Berwick full back. He wants to kick it long. Even though Jim McMaster was on his own, Peter Allen takes a good mark. Climbs up the back. Here comes Jim McMaster now. That was better play, Berwick. Down he comes. He's bounced it once. He got an elbow in the head. Umpire, you saw that happen. I can't understand you, umpire. Bad. You want to watch this video sometime. Come and have a look at it. Benville with the ball. Benville with the ball. Handball to Trigg. Trigg goes on into Neville Powels.
Allen's hit him.
And it's on in the middle of the ground. Here's Peter Allen walked in now. Umpires are in trouble. That was caused by the umpire, exactly. That's right. And the play's still going on the forward position. Berwick in all sorts of trouble. McGreal picks it up. Has a snapshot, and it's gone through for a goal. Meanwhile, there's the blue in the centre of the ground. It's a Berwick goal, and McGreal kicked the goal. John, you were watching the blue. I was watching the play. Umpire, that was your fault that happened. There was an elbow to the head. And there should have been a Berwick free kick.
It was a very dirty bit of play by the Waverley player.
Who was it, John?
Number 18.
Kinnenberg. No need for him to do that. Umpire Black. I don't know where the umpire's man is. He's sitting down here in front of us, and I think he's taking notes about that one, John. If he will now, that way we've brought it up here anyway. The ball's bounced up in the centre of the ground again. Peter Allen handballs out to Kevin Venville. Beautiful pass in there to Rod Ward. Rod Ward takes a good mark there. Ball Berwick goes back. He's going to line them up. Wardy with the ball. Right foot. Drives it in. Long punt kick. Nobody can take the mark. Triggy over the back. He thought it was going to be a bit longer than it was. A pack form and the umpire says, I'll ball it up. There's the umpire's advisor down here, John. He's written a few notes and he hasn't had his book out for this game, but I see him take a few notes of that incident. Venville can't quite get it from the tap down. Packs forms again and the umpire says, I'll ball it up. Well into the last quarter now, up it goes, and the Waverley player taps it through for 1 point. Waverley fullback at the moment to kick out is Graham Joyce. Graham Joyce picks up the ball. In he comes. Graham Joyce with the ball. Look, Waverley player on his own again, number 36 is Darren Arthur. Darren Arthur turns round, kicks the ball long. Good kick. Peter Allen out in the wing position again. Beautiful punch from Allen. Knocks it down. There's nobody to take it in. Runs Mick Dillon, but the Waverley player's got control of the ball. He handballs across. Good play, Waverley. But they messed it up with a handball there. Peter Allen intercepts it. Ducks round. Gets on his left foot. A nice little pass, but looking for Darren Lady. And Darren Lady comes down. He's hurt his back. He's on the ground. And there's McGreal from a handball and turns round, snaps. And I'll tell you what, he's put it through for a goal. Yes, it's a goal. And Berwick move on to 15-17. Trailing Waverley 22-12, 144. How many goals is that McGreal's kicked now? Two, John. Yeah, the other Berwick goal kickers, Mick Dillon with 4. Peter Allen with 2. Neville Powels with 3. Rob Trigg with 3. Ball's back in the centre of the ground. Umpire with the ball. Getting ready to come in. It can't be long to go. I didn't take too much notice at the time, Johnny. I was trying to get back up here from that 3/4 time job. Up the ball goes in the centre of the ground. Berwick starting to get away from the centre again by a kick off the ground towards Darren Lady. Darren Lady picks up. Handballs. Strong handball to Luxford. Luxford couldn't take it. Waverley clear it again and they drive it into Michael Roberts. Michael Roberts turns around, handballs again, and loose man going. Waverley have cleared it away and they've driven it in, and there's another goal. There's another goal. They do it easily, Waverley to score, get out on their own, couple of good handballs, and that results in a goal. Berwick relax, and you can bet that Waverley will get a goal. 23-12, 150 points. Waverley leading Berwick 15-17, 107 here at the Waverley ground.
Yes, it looks a little bit too late now for Berwick to get back in this game. They did try a little bit there and had 1 or 2 scoring shots, but they seem to have lacked the legs just at the moment, Bruce. Anyway, the ball's back in the centre. So it's bounced. Luxford gets beaten in the ruck, and Venville can't hit, but he falls over and he's pushed in the back and will get the free kick. Oh yes, and the captain coach of Waverley picks him up, throws him back down, and but Venville gets the ball, looks out there for Dillon. Dillon can't take it. Here's Lady. Lady's in first for the ball. Oh, it's over his back. Should have got a free kick, but no free kick paid. It's left there for Powels. Here's Powels, gets out of the pack, but he handballs right to no one in there. Lady picks the ball up out of there, kicks it high in the air, the jackknife into the ball by the Waverley fullback. He couldn't hold it. Picked out. Here's a chance for Peter Allen. He gets the handball and he kicks it along the ground, and it's going to go through for a goal. That's right. Definitely the best player on the ground, without a doubt.
Yeah, Johnny. Peter Allen received the ball, handballed it out to the other Berwick player, handballed it back to him as he ran on again, and a goal was scored for the Wickers through Peter Allen. BOG, and he gets the Carlton United Brewery tankard, eh? We'll award that to him.
Yes, we certainly
Good.
will.
Righto.
Oh, really shown a lot of strength and a lot of
after a heavy knock in the head too early in the game, right. John.
When
Peter, I thought to myself, oh, he may not be back. That's right. Only an accident, of course, and in comes the umpire again with the ball. He bounces in the centre. Up they go again. Rod Ward gets the tap down this time, but it goes to a Waverley player from the centre who kicks it up there. There's Michael Roberts on his own. He takes a strong mark again. And Waverley wanting to have a bit of a dish.
By the Berwick player Venville, is it?
No, that's not Venville. It's Ray Crook. Ray Crook. Silly play. There was a little bit of a push and shove from the Waverley captain coach there towards Ray Crook, and he decided to throw the ball back there without on the full, and he's given a 15-metre penalty, which has put Michael Roberts in a scoring distance. He's already kicked 5, I think, and he misses that one. And it goes through for a point. He's kicked 6 goals, has he, so far? Michael Roberts for Waverley. And Waverley move on to 23-13. Berwick 16, I think it's 16-17. Richard Brown kicks in again. McGreal in front. He can't hold the mark. Comes to the ground. Waverley trying to clear it out. A pack's formed and the umpire says, I'll ball it up.
16.
That's 16-17. Berwick 113. Trailing Waverley 23-13, 151. Umpire balls it up in Waverley's half-forward position. Down it goes. Gary Scott couldn't pick it up. Venville gets it though and gets handballs to Callery running past. Callery drives it into Tommy Crebbin, who takes a good mark. He's given a bit of a shove and a push, and the umpires, he worked that out. And bring him back, umpire. But he shouldn't do that. He doesn't take advantage of 15-metre penalty. Tommy Crebbin, beautiful towards Peter Allen, who handballs back to Crebbin, who gets it across the other side there to Venville, is it?
Yeah, but it's not
Venville, they're mucking around Berwick. They're not kicking it long, but anyway, they drive it into the centre half-forward position. And once again, that's that Bird Zachariah has taken a mark. Number 11 for Waverley. Back it comes in the centre of the ground. Williams underneath it. McGreal can't get it either. Down the ground it comes. The big man Williams bends over to pick it up. And there's the sign to end the game. With a final score of Waverley 23-13, 151 to Berwick 16-17, 113. Congratulations to the Waverley side. They played well. Berwick, the big ground found them out. They ran out of legs and found it very hard to go on with this game. Showed a lot of unfitness, and in my opinion, not a lot of these Berwick players today wanted to put in 100 minutes of football. John, my best players, I'd have to give Peter Allen best man on the ground, and the best player for Berwick, I think I'd then go for Gary Scott, even though he made a couple of mistakes in that last quarter. Robert Trigg in the first half, a great player. Just I see them going off the ground. I thought Kevin Venville tried and ran on, did he, towards the end of the game? But no doubt about it at all. Here's, you can hear the cheers and a bit of a flick of the siren. The Waverley side as they come off the ground, and that is signify the 100 games for Barry Williams, plus the win that they've had here today over Berwick. But back to the Berwick side, they're going to have to look at themselves as far as these big grounds. I don't know whether they're not fit or whether they're used to being on that small ground, John, and they've got to be try and organise themselves, perhaps even try and get training on that big ground or something. I don't know. That's only a suggestion of mine. What do you think about that, John?
I believe I don't think it's a matter so much, Bruce, of fitness, but they haven't, or apparently don't seem to have learnt the VFA way of playing at the moment. You've got to run, and you've got to run, and you've got to run, and you've got to get the ball out to a loose man on his own. You've got to create that loose man. I believe overall we had as much of the players, the Waverley team, and individually, when there was a contest, we won quite a few of them, but we didn't seem to have the loose man that they created and ran away with the ball.
That's right, John. They got it out of the centre more times. It was just unbelievable the amount of times that Waverley got it out of the centre, and that seems to be the name of the game. If you can get the ball away from the centre, it's easy to score goals with that loose man running past. Anyway, that's it for the video here at the Waverley ground, and we'd like to thank Urban Video. Don't forget them; they're the fellas that take the video for us, and Barry Johnson once again for sponsoring the video. And don't forget to go and see it at the Berwick Inn. Have a few cold ones while you're watching the video. It'll be there for anybody that wishes to do so. And thanks, John, very much for giving me a hand up here again, and no doubt we'll be in action again next Sunday or in the near future.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.